ESL 1 Katowice is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, Alienware, PaySafeCard, Logitech G, and Hacks.
Welcome back, everyone, to ESL 1 Katowice 2018. The grand final has begun, as you may have already been made aware. It is 1-0 to Virtus Pro, the Partisan crowd inside the Spodek Arena, certainly showing their colours in the first game. But which way is game 2 going to go? It is a best of 5, plenty of chances for Vici Gaming to make their way back into this, and we're back at the panel once more to discuss draft number 2. Gents, Alan, have you had any thoughts about how Vici might approach this second time? Because they've got a few headaches now, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so. Before we go that direction, I've got, of course, a lot of numbers coming out, not surprisingly impressive in the favor of Virtus Pro. That was the first Battle Fury ever on Omni Night based on item data that's going back now before TI3, so unprecedented there. The 4th highest net worth ever on a Pro Omni Night at the 25-minute mark. Ramsey's making his mark, but I want to talk about No One continuing to impress. He's now got 63 kills, 6 deaths, 55 assists on 6 games on 5 different heroes. He's led his team in hero damage on all 5 of those wins. But I think, you know, if it weren't most valuable player, we'd be giving some serious consideration to that triumvirate of Solo, Artstyle, the coach, and my understanding is a fellow by the name of Jan, who's their analyst. VP has looked so prepared in these last 6 matches.
I knew you were a sucker for KDA, Alan. You couldn't hide it from me.
I like big stats, and I cannot lie.
And a lot of those KDAs are fueled by the drafts, though. Like the advantage that they got from their hero picks, it seems like they were prepared for what Vici was going to go for. They got these favorable matchups, and yes, they always play very well. But Aurea in that game did not look so hot. They were always behind. Roger really limited their ability to even start team fights with Earthshaker. I just feel like they went too heavily into team fight stuff and didn't think enough about damage. And VP on the other side got the perfect balance between lanes as well as anti-team fight and team fight for themselves.
No, and I agree, and that's why I say, you know, good stats should always be the beginning of a conversation and not the end of one. And I think you go off that KDA, but then you look at the fact that, like, on his OD, he's taken Abed's Medusa totally out of the game. On his Gyro, he's there at the perfect timing on those rotations to keep Ori from ever having a chance to get into that game. That's why I'm so high on him right now. But hopefully Vici are going to change this up a little bit in the second draft, pick something that's a little higher tempo, and I like the start already with the Tusk.
See, there's nothing wrong with Tusk. I knew it. Go Vici Gaming.
We'll see at the end of the game.
There you go. I mean, you have to know, right? You have to know that they're going to come back with the same thing. Vici obviously had no answer for it in the first game, and this is something, especially in a best-of-5 series, you make them prove. Now, I wondered whether you'd see this again. Cap, I know you're chuckling a little bit over there, but the Tusk does give you a hard save for the Death Prophet, something that is going to be able to keep her in that fight while Exorcism's up.
As long as they ban DK, I'm fine.
I just love openings like this from VP because it's like we won her in a game 1, and now we're gonna give you up to 3 games to try to figure out how to make us open with something else. Yeah. It's so cool to watch. But Tusk does give you a lot better gank and early roam than their supports did last game. So that could be the difference maker here. Maybe let Death Prophet get some kills instead of the other way around.
Just hoping for a better playmaker from their safe lane. Maybe they can even pick the Underlord. If they do pick a better playmaker, a higher tempo hero in their safe lane for Vici Gaming, they can't just afford to let VP with a gyrocopter run them over like they did last time.
Yeah, I think that's going to, again, it's really VP anticipating, they're going against the grain in some sense. It's all been about the side lane meta in this tournament, and the pressure that VP brought in the mid lane forces you to pick a hero like Tusk, who at least has some roaming potential and can go over and be a first aid kit for that mid lane when it gets out of control.
Just checking back on the Vici Gaming matches they played Tusk. It's been a couple of months, and even then it was in low-level matches.
Yeah.
China that they last played it. Last time played it in mainstream tournaments was back at Dota Summit against LGD.
You've banned the Earthshaker this time around, which I think was very smart. Roger had a great game on it. I want to ping like maybe a Phantom Lancer potentially for Vici Gaming.
Yeah, I like the Phantom Lancer side. You know, again, the other issue besides the lanes that we talked about is that Vici was just so cooldown reliant. You need a hero that's going to be able to fight and play this skirmish style Dota that VP loves.
And Disruptor, I think he really screws with Tusk and how you want to play with that Tusk quite a bit.
It also takes away one of the, that's the other thing that with 11 on the single target initiator, the Bat Rider, you want to think about something, give him a little bit more AoE potential, and Disruptor also screws with the Tide, which is a go-to pick for Vici.
Could be a Nyx Assassin game for VP. Many of these 4 positions are actually getting taken out.
For VP or for Vici? Nyx is a Vici staple in the past. No, okay, they've gone away from it. No, I take that back. They've gone away from it the last couple of months.
I feel like VP could use some more team fight at this point. They've obviously got a long ways to go, but maybe most of the standards are out. I really did think Roger played amazing last game.
Yeah,
he did so well. He was always like a step ahead of where Vici was about to initiate. Made a big difference in a couple crucial fights.
Maybe the Beastmaster this time for Vici Gaming instead of the Bat Rider for them. Bat Rider unfortunately had some issues against the Omni Knight. VP just played the lanes, so smart.
I think we're gonna see another Battle Fury. Maybe he'll get 2 this time.
I think this time it's much more likely that we're going to be seeing a Pasha Omni Knight.
Okay. Vici taking the Warlock, which is something that, and good call on the Nyx Assassin. Cap, you're on fire, man.
The Roger Nyx Assassin. Shout out to his game in Dream League.
Boy, and the DP's just got to feel so threatened at this point.
But I feel like the criticism we had for Nyx Assassin earlier is that he doesn't contribute as much as a dual offlane or as a support lately, just because players are better at reacting. He doesn't trade extremely well, unreliable stun. Like he's got regen and stuff, but if he gets under leveled, he also has issues. I think it kind of feels a little bit like Night Stalker to me from a support role right now. It's not as good. Once you get late game, it's great, but like maybe exploitable, or is it offset by the fact that they already have Omni and Gyro, maybe?
I like the fact that Nyx Assassin puts direct damage onto the Death Prophet as a threat, and then it also, it actually sets up against Tusk as well.
Well, they're not going to let him have it this time.
Yeah, as you were calling for, Cap.
Thank God.
Now, that gives you at least one laner that's, I don't know, DK still is going to need help, though. It's not like he's going to solo.
Who do you think he's going to lane against? That he's going to need help for? What do you think, Omni?
Either way. I guess he can stand 1v1 against the Omni, but...
He's okay solo. I mean, if he's against like a Nyx +1, I'm not that worried. Disruptor maybe a bit more, but...
I think it's very likely Vici Gaming running a side lane Death Prophet and
okay, all right.
DK.
All right. Yes.
I was going to say Broodmother ban for sure, because I thought it was going to be a good Broodmother game for VP. The way they're setting up, it's one of those things where they have no supports to, like like what does Warlock do against Broodmother, you know?
Is this an Underlord pick now?
Yeah, I think you've got 2 active cores with the Underlord, which was my fallback plan for Vici Gaming when we opened up this game 2.
Ooh. Well, I like that better.
Okay.
The Enigma versus the Omni Knight.
That's what I wanted to see back in the first game. as the 5th pick. But again, you are so cooldown reliant here. This laning phase needs to go well for Vici Gaming, or I feel like they just get run over again.
I think it's much better because you have a 4 position that does some things for you in the early game, and DK makes things happen for you as well. They're looking at pretty strong lanes here.
Yeah.
I think even Warlock helps make that better too. The laning stage is going to be really strong for Vici. The only lane I may be worried about is Eidolon's feeding to either Gyrocopter or Omnia, but as long as he has a good lane, like maybe put Enigma in a safe lane if possible. No, it's not worth it over DP. Like, I think that's the only lane that Vici's maybe a little bit might have some issues with, but it can also be ganked as well with Tusk roaming in, so I think it could go really well.
So maybe another sort of weird core Ramses Omni Knight, and you could do like Beastmaster or Doom for VP.
Okay.
Or you fall back on like just a regular harder carry.
Yes.
And something that threatens a lot of split pushing.
Yeah, I think you can even maybe go Luna here.
Yeah, they definitely need to push.
The Tiny isn't banned.
I was thinking about a mid hero like a Tinker or something.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
No,
not sure
maybe
if I'm
even
sold on Tinker.
OD.
maybe even
direct
OD.
damage
OD.
into
I like
DK.
OD a lot. I'm gonna go with the OD.
That sounds pretty good to me.
I know, Tal.
They found him.
Big Daddy in the crowd.
Oh, no. Now I know Big Daddy's listening to our analysis.
Yeah.
He's smiting
I'm
from the
nervous.
audience.
It's not a Timbersaw game.
What about something like Underlord? Is that crazy?
No,
Not crazy.
It's a lot of potential damage. Okay.
Whoa.
Not fully convinced by the Void, but
Okay.
Ramses does build cooler and smarter generally,
Well.
so.
So the big thing is, right, it's the classic situation where you need a BKB breaker at the end of your draft, especially to deal with the Enigma.
yeah, I couldn't
yeah.
think of a safe lane hero that did that for you. That's why I was going to off lane heroes
Yeah.
instead. Ooh.
Okay, well, the cheerleading has begun out in the crowd. Back here on the desk, however, there's some decisions to be made by our 3 wise men. Cap, which way are you going for game 2?
Vici Gaming this time around. Vici Gaming. Vici
Good luck
Gaming.
with that.
Yeah, good luck against this lot. Purge.
I think I'm going to stick on the VP train. I think they've got heroes that do work out really well with Faceless Void.
Okay, you're convinced by the Void is a good pick?
Omni can combo with them, Gyro can call down, I think he'll go better items, I think it can work.
Okay, Alan?
I'm going to stick with my guns here. I think we did not see the real Vici Gaming team show up in game 1, and I'm hoping we're going to see that team in game 2. Vici.
Okay, all right, good stuff. We are ready for our commentary team to receive us and take us into game 2. Gents, you excited for an Enigma and a Void?
I might be
very
slightly excited about that one. Yes, I want to get into this game. I want to get it all underway. Game 2. VGVP, we get the Enigma, we get big team fight combinations. We actually get the combination, like, sort of even coming back right now from Virtus Pro, where they grab the Faceless Void in that 5th one, work it with the Gyro. Just looking forward to both teams really just stepping up here in game 2.
I'm looking
giving
forward.
us a series which isn't a whitewash.
Yes, I'm looking forward to see what Roger can make happen on the Nyx Assassin this time, because I know Cap even gave him the shout out, that Dream League game. Roger, I know he remembers it too.
Don't remind him, come
Oh,
on.
come on, man. He'll never forget that game.
It's
He missed
cruel.
like 40 impales, but it doesn't matter. He's been playing remarkable at this tournament, and I'm looking to see how much he can improve on it.
Yeah, he's got a lot to work with in this game. That sounds like, while I'm a big fan of seeing, it's like me watching Enigma as well as Joe Ranger being picked up. I'm like, hey, this is really cool. And then I stick a Slark picked against the drum, like, this isn't cool anymore. Like, Enigma, like, it's almost the time you don't want to put down a Midnight Pulse, because you got Spike Carapace that can cause you problems. You got Glimpse that can cause you problems. Now with the last pickup, Chrono, homing Missile, all these things can just cause you a lot of issues. So I'm interested to see how 11 plays these fights. He's got the movement speed. He's going to be pushed off his bounty rune as well.
Did they get all? They got all 4 bounties.
They got all 4 bounties, Virtus Pro. Nothing like the extra cash to just pump into the supports.
So it looks like it's gonna be a lot of roaming coming out from Lon M with his items, starting with the Orb of Venom. They want to try to put pressure on the lanes just because the last time, the way the VP played, they were just always in the right place at the right time. Enigma should be able to get a bit of a freer time down bottom now.
Yep. Also to watch that one-on-one battle then up on top. So the Dragon Knight versus the Omni Knight.
Yep.
Knight versus Knight in daytime.
That's the farm lane. We're not going to watch that lane.
Yeah,
we're going to watch mid and bottom.
If there's actually a kill up on top, then we cannot blame anyone for missing it.
It'll be through rotations, more than likely.
This mid lane actually looks to be a lot more effective. Like in game 1, we saw the Ancient Apparition picked up against Ori. How do you feel like game 2? Now he's going to have like a Shadow Wording Fenrir behind him.
He's got a lot better ways to protect himself. He doesn't have to worry about the AA blast later on. He doesn't have to worry about the kill threat at level 1 and 2. It's going to take them a lot longer. But Nyx Assassin, just like Cap was mentioning, is one of the strong heroes versus Death Prophet. DPS 3 int gain per level, very high base int too. The mana burn really does start to add up. And it's easier for you to set up your stuns with your Carapace versus Exorcism.
It also seems to make Fenrir's harassment like almost minimal. Like 5.4 health regen against Fenrir's attack. It doesn't really seem to be that effective yet.
They know that since the Warlock's there, they don't have the best kind of kill threat, so they're just going for the flak hand and just push out the wave and try to out-sustain them.
It's going to be a little bit more of a passive early game from everyone. The Gyrocop's been having the best time in the world. Like, he's 9-4. And the top lane, currently DK, struggling to stay up with the CS.
Yeah. I do think this is really important what Roger did in the last game, as well as what he looks like he's going to be copying this time, is stacking that hard camp as well as rotating on the mid lane constantly. That's what allowed the Gyrocopter No One to be so massive in that game and be so high level, because we saw him, he had a full 2-level advantage over Ori.
But that's when Vici have to capitalize. Understand he's backing up, try and do the stack, maybe even get some aggressive vision out for it. For now, Warlock found the Invis rune.
Vici's a lot about the level 6s, just like the panel was mentioning too. They are heavy committed to the team fight. Their lane's a bit weaker because of that.
Oh, shards fly out. Roger gets pushed back down again. Homing missile is going towards Ori, so he can't really chase with it. It's more harassment than anything else.
Fenrir really wanted to get a career snipe, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
Possibly the cutest dog in the game is currently sitting back at the VP base. Isn't he cute? Oh, yeah, anyway, here it comes. He's on the way. He's got a decent amount with him.
It's upgrading in 10 seconds, though. As a Warlock, you can't kill it before that. Too much armor, it takes like 3+ hits.
Fly, doggy, fly.
Yeah.
Well, shards are out once more. No One trapped inside the river. And, well, Ori, he doesn't have any Spirit Siphons available, but the damage they have with the Snowball, Lanham will get the kill onto No One. A good start for VG Gaming.
That time Roger wasn't prepared. He was still staying near the stack. I don't think he actually went for it, or he didn't get it, but Gyro gets punished because of that.
Right, problematic as well. Even if he can land that stun, it's got to go such a long way forward. And that kind of maneuver can be read. Remember, that was one of the primary reasons why Nyx Assassin stopped getting picked. I think it was like 4 years ago when they changed the cast time on his Impale.
Cast time, and you couldn't target anymore. Yeah, lots of different things.
Well, he'll hit this cast time. Fenrir being chipped down a little bit. No One not committing. He had the Rocket Barrage. He's a 1-1-1 build.
They're still doing a great job in the lane in the last hits. All 3 of the cores on the side of VP again leading the way. It's really all on Lan-M to make all these aggressive moves come out.
Oh, shards blocking Roger inside the river, forced to move down. And Roger, wise decision, saw it coming early and just ran the river instead. And No One, man, where are you going, man? You're up a long, long way. And Fenrir is already preparing to have a good little battle. He's gone for the 1 point up in Upheaval. Yeah, so if VP want to dive, they're going to find themselves very slow.
They do have a good amount of damage when they've got their level 6s. It's all about just keeping them in the control, because they still, without Black Hole, their control is a bit minimal.
Yeah. Is that also when you still want to sacrifice it for the Fatal Bonds?
The build that he did yesterday when they had the Naga, he actually went 0-2-4, so it was all about just keeping them inside the Exorcism. It's kind of hard to position yourself to always get like the most ideal Fatal Bonds too. Upheaval's a lot easier as a 5 hero.
11 needs to back out. There's the time walk forward from Ramses with the time dilation. Solo puts up the kinetic field, walls all round as the time lock even connects onto 11. No way to survive that. Ramses and Solo. Very simple gank that no one else is behind him thanks to the Observer Ward sitting in lane. VG Gaming again. Oh, that shard block actually pushed No One into the corner. Lanham's taking all of the damage at the moment. Roger will follow up with a stun. They're going for another Rocket Barrage. Tusker needs life. The Shadow Word will give it to him. No one still had had 5 1 charges up his sleeve. So it would have been a hard kill to claim. Love watching this top lane. Paparazzi seems to be like one of the most pointless lanes ever. You farm, I farm, you farm.
He's got a clear level advantage though. He's got the level 6 already on DK, level 5 on Omni.
It's 33-5 to the 33. So they're not that far off. It's just the fact that Paparazzi, I think, is up a creep wave.
Yeah.
So now Omni has that 6.
They can threaten Paparazzi when his ulti's down with another rotation.
I think he's threatening him now. He purifies with a 1 point. And now 2 points up in DJ and Aura.
Yeah, Roger's smoked here. They don't have the craziest damage.
Solo, trouble, Shards again. Lanham is just so damn good on this Tusker. They're gonna glimpse 11 away, but you've still got 3 Tuskers to fight. Maybe Gyrocopter can do something more about this. That top lane, really, really low for Paparazzi. Purification's back off cooldown. The punch from Pasha will kill off Paparazzi while the Chronosphere control up 11. He's still not 6, trying to work with Ori.
It did look like Paparazzi kind of expected something there too, because he was moving back, but getting brought down, just staying inside the creep wave. Defensive Chrono, absolutely worth it there though.
Escape and fight another day.
Yeah, will be the Battle Fury build again for the Void too. I say again, but it was a Battle Fury last time, but he was an Omni Knight.
Yeah, it was a Battle Fury on the Faceless Void in that game too.
Yes.
So you're right on both fronts.
There we go.
For the hero as well as for the player. All right, so do you make the most out of 11 now? He's got his black hole up and running. Is there a rotation you can do that makes this work? I say that now, also seeing that fresh Observer Ward behind the tier 1 tower on bottom lane. So any kind of support that does TP in will be scouted.
Well, he's not carrying a TP just now, so I think he's more just happy with farming unless something just comes to him naturally and they make an aggressive move on him and his teammates can actually TP to him. Once he picks up a TP, we could see him maybe play that defensive, reactive Enigma.
Omni's finally giving space up on the top lane for the DK underneath the tower. 11 doesn't have enough space. He turns around. He knows it's in trouble. A 2-man black hole. Solo will put the ball down. The Glint's actually pulling him back close towards the tower. Ori wants to come in and help. 11 will fall. And Ori is just focusing on Solo. Upheaval, slowing down the Disruptor, allowing Ori to close the distance. 11's conversions will get the kill.
That's an early TP by Death Prophet though. Ori only level 5 still. Gyrocopter has already hit 6.
He still gets the experience from it. Shards from Lanham, just stopping Roger from claiming the bounty rune and giving time for Fenrir to rotate over with the snowball. They'll close the distance, picking up the Warlock. They have to wait it out. That Spike Carapace causing delays, and Solo arrives for the wall. Kinetic field is down. No one. Is he actually taking a fight in this one? He might be able to. With the Invis, he's got Black Cannon plus the cooldown. Vici Gaming getting split by the invisible Gyrocopter. And Lanham, when the rocket connects, there's a couple more attacks. And maybe the snowball, it will delay it. So the rocket barrage doesn't find the kill. In fact, he goes to Solo, but it's no one to get the double kill. Taunted on the way out. Why not? They're going for more. Ramsey's Chronosphere finding the Enigma. TP is coming in from the DK. And Paparazzi actually completes the TP too.
They can put pressure down on this tower with the next Dragon form. I don't think that VP wants to respond to that one
either. Actually left. Ramsey just TP top.
He wasn't healthy, so he didn't want to go bak to base to heal, but he's got an Omni Knight, so if he can go top, just get healed up, continue to farm. And they actually just send the Omni Knight bottom.
Yep.
The matchup for DK.
Dragon Tail stun. He's still got Purification and 1 charges with the Malefice. Makes it a little bit more difficult, but Repel.
It's gone for the Midas as well on Pasha. Going for a bit more greed this game. They know it's not going to be that fast-paced compared to last time.
11's going to do the same thing as well. Like they're falling behind in timings, Pasha. No, the kinetic field is there, but with Shards flying forward, they didn't catch out Solo, but they've already killed off Pasha, making the most of that DK form and the creep wave that's with it. They want that tier 1 tower to fall, buy some breathing room, and more importantly, ensure the Trinity camp of the Dire side is just protected even harder. Shards, Lanham gets Solo right in the edge, but he snowballs, jumps forward. That Malefice will be able to connect, and Lanham is inside the kinetic field. Solo will take a fall. The Urn charge is there from Lanham.
I was a bit surprised to see that they actually decided to try to defend that bottom tower. The way that they were positioning with their Gyrocopter too. No one was really wanting to secure his stack farm. And they get punished for those movements. Vici, Lanham being the big key playmaker for them.
They're going to try and fight up on top. You don't have Chronosphere available, but with Solo right behind you, he doesn't have Glimpse, so the wall has to be able to hold Fenrir, and it will not be able to do so. Shadow Word is down, and he just upheavals, slows them underneath the tower. That will not be enough. The wall on bottom lane, Pasha, Dragon form is not there, and Pasha will repel. Gyrocopter in through the rear, the stun is nice. 11 cannot survive. Paparazzi on the run, Roger. I don't know if he's fast enough to close this distance. The drum charge was already triggered, and the call down, it'll connect. Slowing down Paparazzi, but with Ori and Lanham in the neighborhood, VP know this is not a fight they can take. Probably the saddest thing you can watch right now, Enigma with a hand of minus, and it's on off cooldown. But at least he has it.
It's like it's a standard Enigma build, right? But yeah, it is quite sad. He'll be able to use it soon. Oh no, he won't. His TP's on cooldown, even worse.
Yep. He has to walk.
The grim walk of shame.
Well, Faceless Void's adding pressure to the top lane. Now that he's got his Chrono back up, a lot of confidence to keep the pressure.
He hasn't had to slow down either, which is the beauty. That movement that he went toward top instead of going to heal with Pasha's heal was really important for him to continue.
They're coming for him. Lanham shards have been on point, but very difficult to control up a Faceless Void. Chrono and Time Walk.
Lanham shards have been on point, but Ori is still very underfarmed in this game, just like the last time. 3,700 net worth in comparison to the Gyro's 5,100.
Under-leveled as well.
Yep.
Like, that hurts even harder because you don't have the extra points up in silence yet. That's that extra control you need against Ramses to ensure Time Walk can't just happen. That's a 6-second duration at level 4.
Look at Roger just scouting them out here too, reading the movements. There is an Obs and a Sentry down he's going to walk into in a second.
He is. If Lanham plays this right, they can kill off Roger. 11's right behind, so they start with a Malefice stun. Want to follow it with much more. Spike Carapace causes those kind of problems, but then Spirit Siphon. Roger, too much damage. Will die before he can really become that initiation factor they wanted him to be. No one's found a haste rune in the top river, so if they want to try and fight under Chrono, they can.
Yeah, they can get active. They've got Static Storm too, undisrupted already.
He burns Fly Cannon early. They're not looking for anything with a haste rune.
Pasha's just going to go full defensive items this time around. No Battle Fury Omni Knight, just the mech. He just needs to be that sustained. They've got the 2 big cores anyway.
Well, if they can sustain through the black hole, that's that primary controller you were talking about, but they need more sustain too when Fenrir starts getting more levels. Like, he's still focusing on upheaval. He's gone to 0-2-3-1 on that Warlock.
Same build that he did last time. They're just really focused on that big team fight, that big wombo combo. They know they have the damage with Exorcism and with Black Hole. They just need to control them.
Roger's walking underneath another Sentry Ward again. Fenrir plays a little bit more defensive, but doesn't attack to reveal the fact the Sentry's down. Not bad for a 13-minute mech on Omni Knight.
They're threatening top tower with a Void. They'll be able to get that one.
Yeah, VG have no desire to defend this.
Look at Roger's positioning here too. He's expecting a smoke.
They don't actually have it.
They do have
it. 1 second.
Yeah.
There it is. Lanham triggers it. The inventory timing actually helping VG, because they would have blown that before. Roger's in so deep, and if they could find no one farming in the tree line, Solo is here, Storm is available, so the smoke is broken, no one, there's your shards, block him in, to trigger a jump charge with the Exorcism. That Storm, it doesn't control up enough for the rock, it will fall down, connecting on 4 heroes. 11's trying to close the distance to get the black hole, but the Faceless Void Chrono, it's going to be better, but is it? Ori's damage is still so high, they have to GA and give themselves some life. Ramses, he didn't get up the hill, but it won't matter. VP, the VG, they're all focusing on Pasha underneath the tier 2 tower. He should fall. The purification, it won't be enough to keep him alive. Ramses, Time Walk out. VG, a terrific fight for them. The tier 1 tower plus 2 big cores.
Fenrir's chaotic offering was split-second perfect to stop the Omni Knight from actually getting the heal or the repel on the Gyrocopter. The fight could have been a little bit different there, but Gyro at this moment in time is their big damage dealer. So as soon as they lose no one, the fight is in Vici's favor. Roger just missing that smoke movement, but he did scout out that they have a quad stack up on that hard camp.
Yeah. Interesting to see what he's actually sitting around here for. He's looking for like a walking wounded to come back just between the towers.
Just trying to get information. He could look for sniping couriers as well.
All right, now the couriers all the way back home is coming out with the cloak as well as Obs and Sentries. So Fenrir can spend some nice money. A Blink Dagger as well for the DK. So initiation has arrived for Paparazzi.
They know Exorcism's down, they know Rock is down, they want to take advantage. Their cooldowns are much less on the side of VP in comparison to Vici.
Do you actually like this from 11 trying to go in for a full Crimson Guard before getting something like a Blink Dagger?
I did see that queued up. I'm wondering if he's actually just going to full commit for it.
Well, he's because of that great fight, you did get like 1,700 gold already, so he's very close to just picking up that big item in the Blink Dagger, if he wants it. VG preparing defense, Observe Ward on the hillside once again. Fenrir, their Observe Ward was down too, so he can watch himself die, but Paparazzi, great on the Omni Knight and the silence. There's the mech to come off, giving him some life, but the storm from Solo is causing problems. Pasha still inside the shards. They're trying to find the kill, but the stuns, they just keep coming, not to mention the call down damage. VG Gaming, they had all the sustain, but it's still not enough. Ori dragged back by the glimpse. VG losing 4. The vision of the high ground again, perfect for Virtus.pro.
No one was up top. He got hit by the Chronosphere, or by the black hole, but Roger was in position.
Roger hits the stun. They want everyone, all 5 heroes to die, and they've got it.
Wow.
Lanham will fall.
Their damage was a bit limited. They didn't have the exorcism available. They got the black hole on no one, but the wraparound there from Roger, stopping it in time for them to turn the fight around, and Static Storm catching 3 heroes there. And now they've actually transitioned into taking the stack.
This is stack with the Battle Fury Faceless Void.
And it's gone.
So much money, so much experience gone begging for VG Gaming. And you'll watch that graph just swing vertical now. It's going up, up, up. The experience is just as sharp. And this will continue until VG Gaming can get control of their lanes back again. The Faceless Void will continue to scale this way.
Vici's very dependent on having both Exorcism and the Chaotic offering in the fights.
And they really need to get rid of that Observer Ward. This one little Observer Ward that just watched the entire fight.
Paparazzi.
Yep, a little bit of a catch out. DK needs a lot more life to survive this. VG is on the way over, but it's a little too late. In fact, 11. He committed to walking in so close that Solo can glimpse him back down into the fight. And where is the stuns? Not even required. The damage from no one, way too good.
VP's relentless aggression. And like you mentioned, that ward spotting out everything. The vision in both of these games by VP has been remarkable.
Oh, Ramsey can actually solo chrono this if he wants the kill, depending on the timing. Yeah, he's going to as well. Support's there from the Omni Knight Purification. We'll give him just that little bit of bonus damage to ensure Lanham dies. A quick Walrus Punch up the hill, but the time walk in Solo. He's wrapped around from the side. The glimpse will pull Fenrir back into the wall, and underneath Ramsey's hammer and Pasha's hammer. Everyone's got a hammer time.
4 dead again.
And no one's going to take bottom tower. Ori's trying to defend this, but how?
VP's playing at that really fast pace and taking advantage of those cooldowns. Now is the time for Vici, though. As soon as they've got Black Hole available, they can look to go for smoke. They have to be able to group up because they're getting punished way too much from the movement and from all the vision that's coming out from VP. But VP,
they're the ones to smoke up. They're the ones looking for 11. Roger, easiest stun of your life right now. Point blank range, connecting on the target. Enigma purified up. He does have the one charge to give a little bit more life, but the glimpse. Solo is there once more. No black hole available. Ramsey in the neighborhood as well, so you cannot help him. If you do, you just feed more. The homing missiles going towards Fenrir. Look at no one. He just goes for the call down. He's happy to take out the creep wave too.
It's getting to that same point as last game, Toby.
It is. They're just overwhelming VG Gaming. And VG, they need an answer. And I'm not quite certain where it comes from. It's not like they got the Chronosphere to work with this time around.
They're just so limited in their damage because this Death Prophet just is shut down, as you were mentioning. Very under-leveled. Level 11 again this time around. Not having that level 2 Exorcism just yet. They're just so reliant on all their ultis being up, while VP, it's go time, non-stop.
I think we're having that discussion, right, on day 1 of the group stages when we cast. It was about Ori's hero pool, and basically you ban out the Death Prophet. What else does VG have to move to? Like, how do they change it up? I don't want to start talking about Game 3 draft just yet, but it still is something to keep in the back of the mind that this definitely doesn't seem to be working for VG Gaming. Their draft needs to change up, or they need to find some way just to sync their lineup so the synergy is right.
VP just is reading all their moves. Roger just constantly running around in this invis. He just spots them out there with that smoke.
The Observer Ward again. It's the one ward that saw the high ground. It was the reason why they got the better initiation during that mid-fight previously. And now watches the smoke maneuver of VG Gaming. And they're trying to use Ori as bait on the top.
Roger already has a blink on this Nyx. That might be faster than his Earthshaker Blink Dagger.
Well, he's died twice, but he's got 10 assists on this Nyx Assassin.
He can set up for a lot of those counter initiations, and they've got the high ground vision here.
Fantastic Observer Ward. the Blink Dagger from Paparazzi. It's only going to help if he can see, but we just hit nighttime, so that vision is very limited, but not for Virtus Pro. Fighting under vision time and time again.
VP's looking to start the fight here solo. They see the Enigma step up.
His Faceless Void going to do his TP. He's waiting to TP onto the tier 1 tower, and yep, here it comes. He goes to the tier 2 tower instead, homing missile, chasing down Lanham. He'll have to snowball if he's going to protect himself from this, which he does do so, but Roger, the Spike Carapace won't connect on that, but he will connect onto the Enigma with a cooldown. Rock is good here for VG Gaming, but where is the kill? 11 is just running for his life, and DK's caught on the hillside. Lanham needs to help, but what can he do? Chance is still on call, and he can't push it back, and the 3-man chrono is perfect. Ori has managed to split the engagement, but it won't help when Ramsey's just picking apart your back line, and GA protects the front line. No one even purified up. VG Gaming, they just can't get diddly squat in these fights, and Lanham, the Clips will pull him back. Another one down for VG Gaming. The snowball is the icing on the cake. They'll pull him into Roshan, and there's your stun from Roger. He hit that one, Fogged.
He's been hitting all of them.
Yeah, he has.
He's been killing it on this Nyx Assassin, and just overall, the whole entire team play of VP. Again, though, the vision. They have that high ground ward, so they see everything that Vici's trying to set up during that one, so they can kind of pick and choose how they want to take the fight, and Paparazzi getting up on the high ground, they're getting isolated. Quickly brought down in 11, unable to find the positioning to get the black hole. This is just, it's gone from bad to worse, Toby.
It really has. That's why I was wondering, like, if he would bypass going for the Crimson Guard. Like, I can imagine trying to just survive Virtus Pro's attack, but it's obviously not working. And even the positioning, how many times have we seen these battles happen with VP versus Vici, where it's transcended almost 3 levels of high ground? It's just like up, 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 and up, and up, and VP always seem to have that advantage.
Yeah,
one target being isolated. They're doing it again. Roger can look for the double stun. Spike Carapace to begin with, and then blinks away. He's underneath the sentry ward of VG Gaming.
He's causing so many issues, just way too much information being given. The thing is that 11, like the Blink Dagger, if he goes it, there's so many options that they can stop the Chronosphere with.
Yeah.
They've got the Carapaces, which is one of the biggest ones. You blink in, you're gonna get Carapace majority of the time.
Then what do you do? Like, you want a BKB as well as... Like, you need BKB and blink then. But he's going for the team item. So I can understand it.
They want to try to tank up through the fights and survive so that they can just naturally turn and go, but they're at such a disadvantage now. 15k gold lead already for VP.
Look at Ramsey just jump in with the Aegis Immortal. He feels immortal, and rightly so. Down, a little bit of life, but don't worry, he's got Pasha right behind him, and they just keep giving him the Solar Crest if needed.
Tier 2 time.
Enigma's just buying time as well. Like, he's just pushing in the bottom lane and getting the hell out of there. He's completed the Crimson Guard. That's one upside now for VG Gaming, making their high ground defense a little bit easier.
When they've got all their ultis ready, they're going to try to make another move here. They have to try to catch VP off guard, though.
Roger's on the hunt down the bottom lane. Without him as the big interrupter against VG's team fight, I'm a little bit concerned if VP can properly take the fight.
I don't think they need to. I think they can just back up and use this as a farming Aegis.
Are we going into the normal rotation of Aegis? First Aegis is all remaining out of towers. Second Aegis is inside base.
I mean, when you've got such a big commanding lead, you don't want to throw it away. They've got great heroes that scale into the late game. They can take this patiently.
Yep. And this is still the grand final of the major. Virtus Pro, no mistakes.
Roger almost just got his team's courier killed, but it creeps, but it survives. It survives.
Coming with a Tome of Knowledge. Little smarts, don't send couriers through creep waves.
So next will be the Blink Dagger for the Enigma. He does need both that Blink and that BKB. They can sustain a lot better through the fights now though with the Crimson Guard. It's all about just trying to protect Ori.
It nulls the effect of no one, but I fear it comes a little too late when no one's already the way onto his butterfly after having SMY and BKB.
I mean, that's what happens when you've got a 17k lead, right?
Oh, the glimpse. Solo, so long, 11. Okay, what do you want to do? Paparazzi and Fenrir want to try and protect him. He's got potential black hole. The Shrine's giving him the life. The rock will drop. 11, do you want to commit? The answer is still going to be no. When Roger, he double stuns the back line. Oh boy, VG, they were uncertain if this was really a fight they wanted to take, and the answer is definitely not. You do not pass go, do not collect $200.
And no one is godlike again. This for the second time. Last game he also hit godlike around the 25-minute mark.
And
Ori
can
committed exorcism too.
They can even wait out the exorcism if they wanted to. Yeah, it's the homing missiles on Ori. They may just fight it. Wall him up, fortification. There's Ramsey's jumping in the Chronosphere. You walk into it, Lanham. Ramsey just moves to his next target, and GG, well played. You can see VG losing hope. I don't know if it's actually being lost or if VP is just stealing it. 2 games to 0 in this grand final. It's quick, it's fast, it's VP.
Again, an almost flawless game by VP. Vici just seems to be, they seem to almost be figured out here. I think they need to change something up. I think VP's like, okay, keep picking your death prophet. We're perfectly fine with this. We're just gonna out-resource you. I think Roger, again in this game, some clutch rotations coming out, and also these little things, stacking those camps, enabling no one to go absolutely berserk on the gyrocopter again for the second time. The gyro did 25,000 damage in that game in comparison to the next highest, which was 12,000 by a death prophet with exorcism. That's absurd.
VP are just being enabled. Also, that I'm wondering, like, with that Omni Knight pickup, like he seems to just getting all of the space he needs. It's a straight-up trade-off lane, but where is the real trade? Where is the collateral damage there for VP? It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In game 1, we saw towers dropping for nothing, apart from we got a little bit of farm to get a minus on an Enigma.
I think a big problem is also this Omni Knight. I think it's not just this gyrocopter, but if they're going to be picking the Death Prophet in the first 2, this Guardian Angel is actually proven to be such a big problem on top of all the heals and sustain.
Yeah, and then of course the flexibility, like who's even going to play it? How do you run it? Is it the core? Is it going to be that 3 position? VP right now, they just got this dynamic kind of draft. VG Gaming Game 3, they have to think about this. They won't have a lot of time to do it, to try and formulate a plan, but this is when the coach kicks in. This is when he has to be there and say, okay guys, what went wrong? How do we change this? But it's going to give us a very different draft. If they start banning Omni Knight style heroes in the first 3, then different support's going to come in. VP, they got such depth in their lineup for every single hero they play. Like, how do you like a team which picked every single hero during minors and majors? Like, they basically went through tournaments saying we'll do the all hero challenge.
I think if you get beat like that by Gyrocopter 2, that one also moves up on the radar. So we're gonna see what Mikasa has up his sleeves because they've got to make some adjustments.
So the big heavy questions we can throw towards the panel: how do you correct the draft? How does VG get back into this series?
Indeed, very good questions. Questions that our panel will answer, of course. But let's just break down game number 2. Cap, that was another impressive performance by Roger and another impressive performance by Virtus.pro.
Yeah, absolutely. Virtus.pro have solidified that they completely understand the timings of Death Prophet. They understand how to be able to play it against the lane, and they feel like Gyrocopter is the best counter against it.
Yeah, did that look much different to the first game, even though we had different heroes?
No, it really didn't. Not at least, like, to me, very little difference in my head.
I would say overall game, no, but laning stage-wise, yes.
Yep.
Like, Death Prophet had more back and forth in the mid lane, and she had supports there all the time. They kept her alive. The trades didn't go so VP favored, but by the time they hit mid game and they took a couple team fights, even the one mid that didn't go so great for VP with a bad Chronosphere, other than that, everything else was super VP favored, and they just outmaneuvered their opponents.
This fight on screen was actually the one that I think they just straight up lost the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Where they started, like, no one snuck by them and ends up being in the black hole up on the high ground, and they're focusing on Pasha trying to kill him, and Pasha actually survives to be able to get off a heal at like 100 HP, and then gets off the rappel as well, and they couldn't even kill him. They didn't even finish him off.
And the MVP of that fight very well may have been the Observer Ward at the top of that hill. This to me, I was thinking this during both drafts, but really watching the way they played this game solidified it. These first 2 games are a lot on preparation. These drafts are not just counterpicking, they're identifying systematic weaknesses in the hero pool of Vici Gaming. They don't play a lot of the traditional Omni counters. They have a lot of their favorite cores that are very weak against the Omni Knight as well. And in this game, I think you just saw the vision game of VP together with the Nyx Assassin of Roger, just so on point, spotting out a lot of the places on the map that Vici is going to be wanting to take those mid-game engagements when they have that strong lane phase. This VP team is just so prepared, and I agree with our 2 casters saying this is going to be on Mikasa to say we need to change direction here in game 3.
I think I have it. It's the Gyro and the Omni together. It's a little obvious because it's the first 2 picks, but it helps him delay his BKB. He can go SNY instead. He's just high damage from the laning stage once you max Rocket Barrage, and then they just need to take engagements and do lots of damage that way. It's like, I don't remember the exact numbers. It's like 400 magic damage or something on a 7-second cooldown. Cass had 2 or 3 times in a fight. He outputs more damage than almost any other hero. So the Omni Knight not only facilitates him, but also gives him that 1v1 lane matchup. It's like a Razor pick in a different hero that also makes Gyro much better. So I think you just got to split them up, make them not be in the same game somehow.
Yeah, they managed to split up the DK and the Gyro, so that's one half done. Now they've got to split up the Omni and the Gyro.
I mean, maybe Virtus.pro will themselves split it up if they just don't pick Death Prophet in the first 1, too.
Yeah, also a possibility as well. Let's talk players in this game. How much of a stake to the MVP has Roger made during this final already?
I mean, he was, I felt like he was the one oftentimes winning Virtus.pro a lot of their team fights going into this final. And then here, he's definitely had a stellar performance through both Game 1 and Game 2. I think he's definitely a contender, for sure, for the MVP.
Any disagreements?
I totally been on the Roger train this whole time, but no one's performances in the last 2 games have also been amazing. And I know Alan talked about his KDAs as well, but that game, he died 0 times. He made perfect decisions. Like, he's been playing good.
Again, you look at his damage output, almost 25K, almost 3 times any other hero on his team. And yeah, he's getting set up. I'm actually really riding the fence between those two. Looking at what happens in Game 3, I think the 2 of them have just been outstanding all tournament long for VP. The numbers obviously are always going to be a little bit more obvious for the core position player. But Roger, and again, I just can't say enough, the coaching and analyst staff of VP has just been so big these last 2 days.
So one thing that Vici Gaming definitely learned from this game is that it's not the laning phase that's the problem for the Death Prophet, right? I'm not sure, like after Game 1, I didn't feel like laning phase was really the problem either. Yeah, you have a bad laning phase, but it feels like the Gyrocopter just inherently counters so much. Like it provides you the burst damage, it takes a faster tempo than you do as well, so you're actually never using your exorcism to be able to take aggressive team fights and take objectives off of it. You're always almost always on the defensive. I mean, Omni Knight's really good too, but for me, I'm just like kind of surprised that Vici Gaming kind of just reran the draft like that.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you start as a team which has a little bit smaller hero pool than the opponent, and you make that hero pool look even smaller still.
Yeah.
When you do that in the draft, I think it was a matter of Vici Gaming has been winning a lot by sort of holding on, breaking even through the mid game, maybe even leads because of superior execution, and then all of a sudden we're at this point, 30, 40 minutes of the game where you just can't kill their cores anymore. VP's not going to let you get to that point. You got to do something different.
I think it's also that the Game 1 was won by so much that it's a lot harder to analyze what went wrong in that point.
Yes, right.
Like, they got completely outlaned, so they thought, oh, we just need the laning stage to be better. That game, laning stage was better. Now they know, okay, well, clear this isn't working, we need to pick. And now we're on to Game 3. Like, VP's already gotten 2 wins from that. That's going to be a big uphill climb.
Yeah, this perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself. It is an uphill climb for our Chinese friends right now because Vici Gaming find themselves on the rack. It is 2-0 for Virtus.pro in a best-of-5. Are they about to claim their second ESL 1 championship? We'll find out with draft number 3 after the break.
Carapace won't connect on that, but he will connect onto the Enigma with a cooldown. Rock is good here for VG Gaming, but where is the kill? 11 is just running for his life, and DK's caught on the hillside. Lanham needs to help, but what can he do? Shards is still on call, and he can't push him back, and the 3-man chrono is perfect. Ori has managed to split the engagement, but it won't help when Ramsey's just picking apart your back line, and GA protects the front line. No one even purified up. VG Gaming, they just can't get diddly squat in these fights, and Lanham, the clips will pull him back. Another one down for VG Gaming. The snowball is the icing on the cake. They'll pull him into Roshan, and there's your starting from Roger. He hit that one for
I do. I want to get in there.
Wow, I'm not dead.
You dead? Yeah, I'm dead.
Never, dude.
Dude, look at that macro pyre, dude. Oh my god.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Life is all about following a few simple rules. Dress proper. Get a real job. Start a family. Be humble. Time to grow up.
ultimately, this trip could bring my career to the next level.
I'm not very worried about losing. I'm worried about missed opportunities.
I just scream and say yes twice. Yes!
You try your best, you feel good about yourself.
So what's really going to separate them is decision making and strategizing.
Lara, you found my secret. Our world is in danger. You must stop them.
It'll be an adventure.
Some men like dangerous women.
You shouldn't have come here, but I'm glad that you did.
You messed with the wrong family.
Tomb Raider.
Can't be too careful these days. The world has gone bloody mad.
I'll take 2.
Only in cinemas.
ESL 1 Katowice is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, Alienware, PaySafeCard, Logitech G, and Hacks.
A very warm welcome back to the grand finale of ESL 1 Katowice 2018. Vici Gaming going head-to-head with Virtus Pro, and it's Virtus Pro who have a 2-0 lead right now. Can they convert and make it 3-0? I'm sure most of the crowd here inside the Spodek Arena are hoping for exactly that, but Vici Gaming are made of stern stuff. We shall get into game number 3 very shortly, but first, just a quick reminder for you, we've got the Play Faster moment by Vodafone to come this evening, as well as the MVPs. Be interested to see what actually wins that Play Faster moment. Maybe one of these teams is going to just storm roll through and it'll be a fast game, or maybe there'll be an Aegis steal on it, or maybe it'll be Alan's favourite play of the day. We'll find out that a little bit later on. We're going to get into draft number 3. We're back at the panel once more with Nahaz, with Purge, and with Katowice. I don't know why I keep saying Purged. I think you should change your name, obviously.
Yeah. More consonants?
I guess. I don't know.
Also demanding.
Are we ready for game 3? Because we are on the verge of crowning a champion right now, and that doesn't seem to compute. I thought this was going to be a tight series.
I mean, I think the real question is, are Vici Gaming ready for game 3? Because in some ways, it seems like the series hasn't even started yet.
It feels like that 2-game series was one game of strategy kind of developed, and I feel like Vici's going to be kicking themselves a bit for letting the gyro through again.
Okay, so you think that third time's the charm? Get rid of it, break it up, do whatever you need to do, just get it out of there.
VP's going to stick on their path, and they'll see if Vici change anything up, because I think VP can win with what they did.
I mean, one of the things that I'll flag as well is that we had the stat earlier where I believe it was like 57 or something out of 60, no, 54 out of 60 where teams had opted for first pick with selection priority. VP have now opted for Radiant twice in 3 games, giving away first pick to Vici Gaming. And again, picking that very powerful 2-hero reply, the Gyro Omni 2 games in a row. We're going to see, I believe we're going to see VP with second pick again here.
Yeah, very interesting. Little nuances.
I wonder why that is. But you know what's cool about that as well? It also tells your opponent, you're like, we don't care about first pick, even though every team cares about first pick. So, and then you got your 2 picks. They pick the same 2 picks. Come on. Vici can figure that out. It just comes down to, do they think that they can beat it?
All right, here we go. Drafts are on the way. Draft is on the way, and same bands.
No, there's an Omni ban, you guys.
Oh, there is an Omni. Sorry, you're right.
Okay.
That's me being blind from a long way away.
Well, the Gyro is still there in the pool, and in fact, okay, so the Sand King's out.
So Tusk opener to guarantee lanes. This is what they opened with last game. That was fine.
Yeah.
And VP's going to have to do something new.
So they're going to get Chen this time around?
Yep.
And they're going to get
the
Gyro.
I mean, you know it was going to be Gyro. Interesting to me, though. Okay, so we're going to go back to the Keeper of the Light. And again, big tempo controlling hero. Neither of these teams having any interest in the Tiny.
Yeah. This
is the first two games of the final, and these are the first 2 games of the tournament. The Tiny's gotten all the way through the draft.
Yep. I kept waiting for it. Good Beastmaster ban from Virtus Pro. I was just about to say, this is going to be Vici Gaming's attempt to counter the Chen. So they're like, okay, they look through their, I don't know, maybe Mikasa looked through his book of strategies and he was like, all right, which one are we going to be taking here? We're going to bait out what hero and what strategy is it going to be? And here it's the Chen counter to the Keeper of the Light. And then they're going to try and get some sort of like very strong lane. Make sure that Virtus Pro can't run that aggro Roger plus Pasha in-your-face situation.
Vici forced a ban on Night Stalker, since it could heavily undermine Keeper of the Light's benefits with Eggs. I feel like I see it banned so often, I want to see like one game where it gets stomped by Night Stalker, just to see, like, does this still work, guys? It's been a while.
People didn't stop banning.
I'd be down for it. Night Stalker Lycan for VP. Let's go. Surely they were going to have a ban on the Terrorblade, right?
That's the thing. VP have really exploited the fact that Vici Gaming don't really run the TB.
Yeah, sorry, I meant for Vici Gaming.
Yeah.
Since,
oh yeah, I mean, we know Ramses plays it.
It's actually a big loss for Vici that not only did they not play Chen, but also TB.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking more and more as I'm watching these drafts, is that VP are just exploiting these holes. That's the one thing that it's very, very hard to fix during a tournament, is to address the holes in your hero pool.
I mean, I'm sure they could go play some pub games, but it's very different from practicing the strat with your team, finding the holes within that same tournament. Especially when you're worried about teams maybe talking.
Yeah, probably thinking about the, there goes the Tiny. Okay, and now you wonder if they're going to go the Witch Doctor this time instead of the Disruptor, third pick.
Well, VP's early game is really good right now.
Yeah.
Got relatively good push too. I think Tiny would have worked here just because of the Caudal, I guess. He's very low HP. So definitely one place where Tiny shines.
I mean, this historically would be where Vici Gaming would pick up the Death Prophet in the draft, but you got to feel like that tune is one they've played one too many times.
I'm not sure. I feel like you still grab it myself.
Oh.
But maybe they want something that has better teamfight in late game. That's maybe one place VP's lacking a little right now. Or they get delayed until they know that the matchup's a little better, I suppose. I don't think VP will grab it themselves. I guess they could. They probably have. But.
Yeah, okay, so this is the other, you go back a little bit. The other weakness in Vici Gaming's hero pool is that they do not have many flex picks. This is one of the few that we'll see Ori run this in the mid lane. You saw a couple games in Captain's Draft where he played that very, very well. And 11 will occasionally play that in the off lane. So this is one of the few paths that Vici have to let their draft remain open to this point.
Definitely like it. It's effective against Witchstalker. If you get maledicted, you can actually escape without getting right-click 6 times as you retreat. And it's definitely a little hard for Chen to gank him as well, so it kind of covers both bases.
Yeah, but now you worry about VP taking up the Death Prophet themselves, benefiting from that long duration silence against the puck.
It would certainly fit their draft. Makes their push a little better. I think lane-wise, it would be punishable, especially against a Tusk, is one of the big negatives. So Chen can't really move around the map as fast. Witchdoctor can lane rotate, I suppose, but I could see some vulnerability there.
I don't know, I feel like Death Prophet's actually pretty playable against the Tusk. Oh, wow.
That's a core Jakiro.
That is...
Somebody's going to say that's a nice macro part. I know the cast.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude.
Look at that macro pyre.
Oh my god.
How many times have we heard that the last two tournaments?
Yeah, too many. And no one's ever said that in a game I've ever played a Jakiro in.
There's a lot of sounds from ads here that are stuck in my brain forever.
I guess they're working then, Kevin.
That's right.
What's going on?
Call Jakiro, buddy.
Well...
Yeah, sure. But, like, why?
Okay, all right.
What's the point of... You've seen,
Look,
the clip, right?
I feel like if you treat these drafts as like a conversation, I feel like this is the biggest challenge that VersusPro's been issuing. We know you don't play terribly. And we're finally going to come back, and we're going to see this paparazzi Terrorblade here.
I think he's good enough to handle it. No problem. I guess it's more, is their team familiar with playing around it, I suppose. I think Jakiro is a decent solution against it. Tons of attack speed reduction, and when you're 4, you're going to max Dual Breath really early. You're going to get a lot of Liquid Fire, and that means TB. I don't even think I care if he Sunders. If he's got like minus 80 attack speed, minus 90 attack speed by 15 minutes, he's probably not going to be able to deal that much damage.
Yeah, they've played Terrorblade 4 times in the last 4 months. The last one of those was a month ago against VGJ Thunder, and they've lost 3 of the 4.
Right. Their TB, for whatever reason, they just don't look comfortable playing around the hero.
And like VP might just all in push basically. Like Core Jakiro certainly gives you that option. If they win the early game, it's going to be a 15-minute Rax.
Maybe. Now, I mean, the Coddle does give you at least some relief of the pressure there, the ability to keep those lanes pushed out, but again, VP have just been playing so fast that if you just get on top of the Coddle and kill him, okay, nice Illuminate, bro.
That was a good point, though, because if Coddle sits in base, they've got Ice Shards, Illuminate, and Puck Orb. So it's fairly safe to clear creep waves. Maybe it comes down to the Chen then. So Death Prophet being out, Void is being out. They've also seen the advertisement.
Don't they need a frontliner for VP?
Yeah.
They do, but...
Like a Dusa or something?
Yeah, that's the thing. There are just plenty of options left in the pool. You could even... Nah, you don't brood here, but...
I don't think you do so. I think they're going to put Jakiro mid, I assume. Maybe not now, I guess, against Puck, but...
I actually think Deuce is fine.
Tell you what they have played with a couple of these. He's a sniper, but they're going to get
they're
through.
going to brood. Oh, jeez. I mean...
Okay. Well, if you want to win a game 3 in a grand final when you're 2-0 up, why the hell not, right?
Okay. Out of the brood drafts that we've seen in this tournament, I do think Vici have the draft to deal with this, right? At least if they can survive the first few minutes of the laning phase, they got plenty of AOE. I don't think the brood is quite as game-winning a pick here, but man, that if you can survive the first 6 minutes is a big proviso.
Yeah. Do you want to know the last time Virtus Pro lost a match with the Brood?
It's been like 6 months.
2015.
Okay, that's longer than 6 months, Paul.
It's been a while. So, gents, with that information equipped, which way are you going, Kat?
Oh, you're gonna start with me? I literally, you notice I didn't talk at all during that draft because I had no idea what the hell was going on. Jakiro just threw me for such a loop.
Jakiro, great hero.
Oh, they have a fast lineup. With the core Jakiro and a Gyrocopter and a Broodmother, they win lanes, they push towers. Maybe that's good enough to be able to beat out Terrorblade's timings. Sure, go VP.
Okay.
Very confident. I'm gonna also go with VP. I think they're on the roll. They can do this.
Okay. This is just VP all the way. If you see how they played in the first couple of games, this lineup is just so good for them.
All right.
Y'all are confident as hell. I like it. I chose the right team. Excellent.
It's a clean sweep on the panel right now. They've all gone for Virtus Pro. The crowd have gone for Virtus Pro. Basically, everything is against Vici Gaming you could possibly imagine. And then they get a Brood to play against in Game 3 of the Grand Final. Let's see how they get on. Our commentary team are ready. Are you ready? Let's find out. Game 3, Virtus Pro versus VG Gaming. We can go straight into the game right now because we do not stop. The hype will always continue. If VG Gaming could try and turn around what looks to be a whitewash, but they're up against the absolute, well, dick of this tournament. It's the Broodmother. I wanted a better way to actually describe him, but there is actually no better way to describe her, I should say, which is the Broodmother.
And especially like this time, you know, Vici, they were prepared the last 2 times. They're like, all right, let's ban the Brood. We'll ban the Brood again. Oh God, we forgot about the Brood this time. They were so prioritized on their draft, but they do have some tools to be able to take it. We've seen them actually take it versus a Brood as well. We saw Liquids get taken out by that heavy team fight that Vici executed, but this one does look a bit scary. There is an incredible amount of push on VP.
Hey, at least this time they're not going to lose all the bounty runes. There's going to be 3 going the way of VG Gaming, so no early advantage for all the supports of Virtus Pro. Hey, things are possible, man. Things are possible. We saw Team Liquid do this against Optic Gaming. That was Optic Gaming.
And it was a Terrorblade and a Coddle that were the heroes that dealt with the Brood. They were able to stall it long enough.
It was. And then the Batrider's not too bad either. Park has a good some AoE clearance. So does Lanham. Lanham's actually doing this fun little thing where we're now playing igloos, just hiding the creep wave back as close to the tower as possible.
Yeah, because they have Chen, so they want to try to match the Chen who sends the creeps home. The Tusk can counteract that a bit with the ice shards to get it closer to your tower. Yeah, not so great though, because Chen is just the master of that right now.
This Chen is always so problematic too. Like you talk about like him influencing like the lane equilibrium on the top, but it's also the fact he can be so aggressive. And VG Gaming, how they react to this, they started with 3 heroes, making sure there was no quick fighter. He just... Okay.
He's just sending the creeps home.
Yeah, he's sending a melee creep home. I'm like, okay. I thought for a moment he was misclicking Pasha so he can TP back out again, but yeah, Fenrir is TP down to the bottom lane to try and help out 11.
Yeah, they want to just pressure this Gyrocopter who's been pretty much the biggest concern for them in the last 2 games, going combined with 20-1 or 22-1, I'm not even too sure. No one had some impeccable performances in the last 2 games.
Oh, Paparazzi's having a real hard time up on top lane. Pasha's got Breathe Fire in 2 seconds time, but with the Metamorphosis, Pasha's, like it was meant to be Terrorblade who had the advantage when he triggers this, but Pasha, I always loved flagging Jakiro as one of the highest strength gaining support heroes in the matchup, in the game. But
it's like Bane, Ogre, and Jakiro, I'm pretty sure, are the 3 like highest int heroes with strength. And this is what happens with Chen too. You get that early level 2, so you can put that pressure. You get very fast levels as your offlaner.
A good lane for VG Gaming has actually been this mid. The fact that Ori is getting a lot more out from the Broodmother, 11-4 versus the 5-0 Broodmother. This will obviously change once the Soul Ring spam starts coming the way of Ori, but Ori just really trying to stick it to Ramses.
You can tell he's a bit frustrated and angry after that last game. He wants to take it back to him. 19-4 last hits. A couple of those are spiders, but
yeah, but it still affects the net worth. Oh, Paparazzi, the dual breath connected once more. Back into the trees. Lanham's come to help out, but it's just to become a buffer. So the net worth's actually sitting at about 1650 versus the just over 1K, the 1100 for Ramses.
Yeah,
So Ori's still getting good money out of this lane.
he's gone for the 0 phase shift build too, so he can actually clear out the spiders. That's why you see him getting all those extra last hits.
Yep. And he'd be even more aggressive when you grab that 2-minute regeneration rune Lanham, putting down the shards up on top. Support wants to rotate in. They've still got the Centaur from Roger, giving support to Pasha. So it's hard to initiate.
I can't believe how incredibly well Ori's doing in the mid lane, though. He's got a full level advantage over Ramses right now.
Full level, 800 net worth in front. The Terrorblade's getting good farm as well, 15-3. Shards out once more, but unable to block in Pasha. Haven't actually felt like the overwhelming power of Roger on this top lane yet.
It's all about once he gets to level 3 in particular. If he doesn't have like those shard golems to get those kill threats.
They're going on bottom lane. Maledict is up. Fenrir wants to try and help out, but really 11. He turns forward to try and go towards no one down at the trees. The Maledict will pop him here. It's a level 1 only, but the damage is more than enough. So Solo will get the kill. Fenrir maybe able to get a rebuttal, but with that 1 point up in Voodoo Restoration, Solo, not only does he dodge the Illuminate, but he also gains more life back towards both no one and himself. Meaning Fenrir cannot get the rebuttal. Top lane shards, Lanham looking for the defense. The dual breath is already connected with the clap. Lanham will fall. All I have to do is just say, haven't really felt VP's influence, and hey, I'm feeling VP's influence.
Yeah. The Chen with Penitence, you get out of position. Jakiro does a pretty ridiculous amount of damage. You don't see it too often in the core roll. But when you do get your levels so quickly, your spells do add up very quickly.
I think Nox is going to have fun one with these type of stats later on. We have one for Broodmother, but Ori's now at 47 CS, 4.5 minutes into the game. Yeah, a lot of them have been spiders, but it just shows you his unbridled aggression against the Broodmother.
Already level 6 at the 4, almost level 7 at the 4.5 minute mark on this puck.
That's so much experience. Like normally you don't even think about how much you gain in the first 5 minutes when you think about like experience as well as net worth. But in this case, it just shows you just how much he's getting out of Ramses. And Ramses is bailing out. He's gone towards the jungle. It's the safe lane farming.
I want to rewatch that whole lane to see how he did so damn well. He pretty much has a Veil finished up on the puck. It's 5 minutes in.
Yep. 10 CS a minute. Fenrir is on the run. Maledict as well as the homing missile. It's a level 1 missile. It's not a lot of damage. That's why Solo is just going in so deep. He may need just one more attack to tick Fenrir out, and he knows it. But Solo, the Illuminate spam. Fenrir will get a rebuttal. He'll get no experience for it, however. And they actually moved 11 to the top lane. I don't know if that was exactly the timing they wanted to have this happen.
He wants to make sure that Paparazzi can farm. He doesn't want him to get pressured here, is what I read from that move from 11, because he cleared one of his big stacks, and then he instantly went toward the top lane.
This is also something, too, we saw Liquid prioritize when they went against the Broodmother having the coddle, that they actually let GH get a lot of extra farm and levels on that off lane. Just let him defend with the Illuminate spam and gain higher levels, because you need the 3, 4 levels obviously going to be the better to defend against the Broodmother. It was a different scenario because it wasn't a mid-brood, it was an off-lane brood. So it's a little bit more defense to fight, like trees to hide in.
6 minutes, Veil of Discord picked up with a bottle, and level 8 on the puck.
Holy crap, he's going up towards the top lane too. They want to go for the fight. The Observer will see this coming, but thanks to the fact that Solo and Roger are on the top lane, oh, they're already sending Solo back. Roger sacrificing himself once again. Lanham on point with the shards, locking in the Chen. So heavy commitment, but they're also killing off the Chen army. But this is buying time for Broodmother. Actually, it's not even really, like Broodmother's attacking the mid tower, but she's not sticking around.
She's doing, it's all about the efficient play here. It's get the creep wave, go to the Ancients. Ancients give you the most amount of experience, so you always want to be abusing Ancients as a Broodmother.
You know, this is actually when I feel really happy. I mentioned it in game 2 about Ori's hero pool. I'm very happy to see him not on a Death Prophet, but having a hero where he can really start to style a little bit more. A Blink Dagger or Veil this early on, this is a lot of kill potential. This is a lot of problems for heroes like the Witch Doctor who could just get picked, or heroes like Chen who, because they've spent so much time on the top lane, haven't found as many levels as they probably would have liked.
Yeah. Even Gyro can be susceptible to a lot of Magic Burst. Early on. Once you start getting a bit more items, it's a little less pressured, but we do see that rotation. Ori is going bottom, has the Veil. They've got the level 2 Illuminate.
They can try and fight no one before he can pick up those treads. He has the money for it, which he can buy from the side shop, but back behind the tower. And the Illuminate spam will keep pushing the creep wave under too. Lanham's coming down as well. So they leave Ramses alone. The fact that no one has come back to the mid lane, and I mean no one as in no one from Vici Gaming, not no one.
You confused me too.
Yeah, I just thought I'd clarify. Like, they know no one. Starts its TP out, stuns way too far away.
He went to base too. He went to go just pick up his treads. I think he wants to go back to bottom.
Paparazzi, he's in trouble. Maledict, he knows he has to start regenerating and regenerating quickly. And he goes out to the shrine, so he'd have to go all the way home. Mid lane, Ramses will fall. Ori able to get that Dream Coil off, and then Young 11 just doing his work.
They're moving very well around the map, and like you said, I did like the point that you made, is 11 is pretty much strictly just playing this jungle and response game on the TPs, and they're giving so much focus onto Fenrir to get that farm on the Coddle.
Well, you were saying it in game 2, right? Like, it's always better when the Batrider is able to gain space, and Vici Gaming, they didn't work out in game 2 how to give him that level of space, but in game 3, they're having a lot better time. Bottom lane, they're going after no one again. The snowball will protect, and they dive underneath the tower. Ori has the damage. And they have the kill on the gyro. He's actually he's hitting 5k net worth 9 minutes into this game on Ori.
An early Blink Dagger on both the Batrun and the Puck, they can really start to shut down Ramses a lot if he shows his face as the Broodmother.
I'm loving this deep push on top. Like, Fenrir has been like working so hard to ensure this top tower took a while, and with the Jakiro as well as the Chen, you expect the tower to fall very quickly. And prioritizing Liquid Fire Pasha, a 3-0-4 build, you know he was looking just to force down buildings. That's why the panel was like, if they're playing a quick pace game, right? It's gonna be push, push, push.
They don't want this game to go too late versus Terrorblade.
But the question is, can they just defend? Because right now, they're technically trading tier 1 for tier 1. The mid-tier 1 tower could potentially fall shortly after. But they just don't know where to fight. Like, Paparazzi's has gone jungle. All right, so Jakiro's going to come to mid and finish the job on the tier 1 tower there. Solo and Roger, under the cover of smoke, also looking for the opportunity. The Batrider's gone jungle. He's so close to the Blink Dagger. He doesn't want to die now. They'll rotate in. The Observer Ward's down. They don't see him on the other side of the trees. Now the ping does come. Batrider, he needs friends. He needs help. The Maledict, the Paralyzing Cask, won't bounce back down from the Centaur. So 11 has a fighting chance to move up and away. The Maledict, is that last tick? Yeah. The raindrop protection. Yeah. Goodbye.
With that Medallion plus Penitence, way too much damage from the right clicks coming out, just from even a Witch Doctor.
10-minute Blink Dagger for Ori. With Veil.
Absurdly farmed.
And he's got the 4-4 too.
Yeah, and it's going to be Ramses is going for a Orchid, so he is going to try to punish that Puck. I mean, he can kill any of the heroes on the map when he does have it.
Why am I just waiting for Paparazzi just to sunder a target with his current live trigger metamorphosis and find a kill? Ori back in again, got a 2-man silence, actually jaunted out to the lane. And rightly so. Is this around the time too where Vici needs to start planning a ward around where Ramses is farming? Do they get that deep dire Observer Ward? Almost worth like a smoke gank and then leave the wards behind.
Probably when they have the Blink finished as well as with the Lasso skilled on 11, then they can start playing a bit more aggressively. Right now though, they're on the full defensive stance. Looking at their wards, they're just really trying to play in that reactive kind of movement. Ori can be a little bit more cocky with his movements, but the rest of them, they're just trying to farm up. They don't want to take the fights into VP's lineup.
Yep.
This time, though, it is different. No one is not the priority this game. As well, the last two, he was just giving all the stacks, all the farm as possible on this Gyrocopter. Now he's a bit more limited. It's all going to be about Ramses.
Yep. Ramses has become the big man. Pasha to continue to add the pressure. And they're coming bottom, yeah. Paparazzi, he is very low. They need a good stun on him. Chain it off before he can get that Sunder. Paparazzi snowballed in. He's pushed back down the cliff. The Paralyzing Cast made it impossible. Death Ward gets cancelled thanks to the Walrus Punch. But the damage with the Macropire. Ori, he's starting to burn. He has Phase Shift available. He's going to use it and then jaunt back up the lane, looking to get the regeneration. Solo chasing in deeper too. Lanham cannot stick around. He's got defensive shards available. Phase Shift doesn't actually dodge the dual breath. So difficult with the double Pulseman and the Paralyzing Cast. Maybe VP go in deeper. Solo doesn't get caught by the shards. It would have given a chance for Young 11 to get that potential pick.
Did Ori misclick there? He blinked on top of himself.
I'd love to see the replay if we can then, production team.
I'm not sure if he was just trying to like disjoint, but he did blink right on top of himself. It actually got him killed, and that's a big net worth exchange there. Pasha getting quite a lot from that kill, and finding a regen rune bottom now, so they can continue this aggression that they've been doing. That's a very costly mistake.
Yeah, Vici Gaming, they can't afford those. they were having the advantage. It was just shy of 3K gold advantage. They're battling for the wards. The experience actually levels. It's almost a flat 0 right now. 800 for the gold.
Yeah, they're able to get the 2 biggest cores on the side of Vici.
They're going to 4-man smoke gank. They need to make the most out of this puck. Remember, she's still got the Dream Call to work with.
Highest net worth in all programs since TI5 on this puck.
I am not surprised at all.
No,
and they're coming to the bottom lane. They want to try and fight. They got 2 perfect heroes, Solo and Pasha. Paparazzi, he was the bait at the beginning. Paralyzing Cast will cause some problems, but it won't matter when Ori can bring in such high levels of damage. 5 heroes from VG Gaming committed for this.
They get the pressure on with the first meta. They're gonna with this meta down bottom. They're gonna be able to put a lot of damage on the tower, and they're gonna be able to put some aggressive wards down.
Yep, Jaro's looking for a rebuttal. He's forcing in the top lane as quick as they possibly can. So let's have a quick look at this fight once more.
VP is doing Roche at the moment, but it doesn't look to be contested, so we can take a glance at this replay.
Yep. So Ori stands his ground in the middle of the entire fight. You already blinked in to start it, and then, yeah, jump away, drawn away, and that's the end of the fight.
This is the one where I think he blinks on top of himself. Yeah, he just blinked right there. He blinked right on top of himself when Solo was hitting him. I think he would have gotten away.
Must have been that quick. Yeah. We can come back to the live right now. Pasha under attack as VG Gaming, they were forcing in the bottom lane. The cooldown was committed by the gyrocopter, and VG underneath the Radiant Shrine were ready to fight. They want to go for more. Lasso is not available, but they can just jump into Solo, making the most of all this magical pop. Solo cannot run away. And VG, really great positioning, fighting just in front of the shrine, so there was no way for VP to get the regeneration and away from the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, Pasha TP'd right in the middle of all of them there, and they were taking the rush, so that did seem like they kind of wanted to contest it, but they also wanted to do that distraction to make sure that the Broodmother could get that Aegis.
Yep, and she does have that. But what do you now do with this? Like, you just lost your tier 2 tower. It seems like VG are the ones being aggressive with the Blink Daggers arriving on the Bat Rider. More items on the way too, 4 staffs. I can't wait to see what we see from Ori as his next primary item. Oh, silence. Oh, that wasn't what he planned. Yulsefter may be the next one, and 4-staff is there from Fenrir. He's got so much money on this Coddle, and this is why you go 4-staff instead of Aghanims first on Coddle?
Yeah. The GH rule is what it seems to be. And he's also gone for a Glimmer Cape as well to protect himself versus that Broodmother. A lot of it is on Ramses now to find those pickoffs around the map, to either find the Coddle, find any single hero that's just playing by themselves.
I really expected more damage to be done by VP. Like, you've only taken 2 tier 1 towers in this game. You've got only one of the tier 2 towers below 50%.
Bottom lane.
Oh, they found him. They found the gyrocopter. Support is there in the form of Solo, but I don't know if he really wants to be here. Paralyzing Cask will come out, and I'll at least keep VG at bay for the moment as the send back.
Having these early double blinks is putting a lot of pressure on VP. Even if they have gotten that Aegis, they don't have that group up that they want to take versus Vici because of how farmed this puck is.
And Ori's going to keep going. You see him instantly just buying up the parts for the Yulsefter. When that Orchid gets revealed, Ramsey's going to go in for his BKB as the next item. Make that Broodmother a nice team fighter. Give him something so he can battle under all the magical pop. Because the physical damage is still lacking. It's coming for Paparazzi. But it's still on the way.
Vici just wants to continue playing as 4 as much as possible to give Paparazzi the space to farm.
They're going to fight. There's a regeneration room for Ori. Ramsey is farming on the cliff side, but it won't help you when they jump in. The Dream Coil will connect, and Ramsey, he actually protects his Broodlings by sending them away. Aegis Immortal is what pops, so VG Gaming, they seem to be happy with this. They're on the way out. Homing Missile is chasing after 11. They need to try and get rid of that damn thing, but it won't happen. He's up on the hill and fine.
There isn't good catch for VP on the side of VP. They don't, it's pretty much like a cask. They don't have great ways to actually lock heroes down unless they're right on top of them. Once they've got higher levels of Ice Path, and once they have the Yulsefter on Pasha, then they have good ways to actually keep people stunned and locked down inside those fights.
Hand of God being used so Chen doesn't lose his army to Ori. And Ori's having the time of his life. He keeps finding regeneration runes everywhere too.
Yeah.
All these activation runes and their action runes just because VP can't control the river. Every time they want to come over, they just don't know if they're going to get jumped on. Like, Pasha's attempting with the Ice Path, but until he has something like a Yules, he can't even set that up.
Yep.
And actually, I don't even know if he can if he, like, with the Blink Daggers, you Yules, you throw down the Ice Path, but can you grab him?
They're really going to need that Eul Scepter to get any of those pickoffs. Eul's plus BKB, then they can actually look to start taking some fights. The double BKB on both Noah as well as Ramses, but Vici look to be in a very comfortable position here. They're making all the space in the world for Paparazzi to get massive, and we've seen what these Terror Blades can do.
Yep. Actually interesting to watch that shift of net worth too. So the puck is obviously looking for the fights while you have Paparazzi farming up. This has allowed the Broodmother to overtake. Obviously the Brood's going to do that anyway, just because Ramses is owning the mid lane as far as farm goes. Maybe not so much when he feeds that many Spiderlings to the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah.
That actually just went to buying up the point booster.
Fenrir did get like almost all of them there during that push, during that counter push. Orchid on Ancient.
Yep.
Just continuing to farm.
You've already got the Eul Scepter on the puck, so now there's a way around it. So there's 96 spiders have been killed in the space of 18 minutes.
That's close to their whole gold advantage.
Batrider's on the hunt. No Radiant Observer wards in this area, so they're accepting the fact they're losing their tier 1 tower. Up on top, and there's the Blink Lasso, catching Roger. They want to kill off this Chen nice and efficiently. Ice Path will make it difficult. Rolling Boulder, it's going to be Lanham. Going in deep. Snowball, sorry. And VP, oh, that Dream Coil, and the Blinding Light! A perfect 3-man stun. Ramsey's on the run, Reflections there. Pasha, he'll turn this fight around with a nice Ice Path into the Death Ward. With the Maledict combination, it's so much damage, but VP, they're still so far behind in this game, and VG are so far in front. 4 heroes down, the Gyro is on the run. Ori, the Blink Dagger is still on cooldown for him. That bloody Harpy was causing problems. So they still take the fight.
That was so sick by Fenrir and Ori, that combination play. They also even end up getting the Broodmother on the back lines because she didn't have the BKB finish, so the Flame Break by 11 was able to take her down. That was such perfect coordination.
So there was no time to even react to it. The second that Dream Coil snaps, so the Blinding Light. Now that's a fight we can watch again.
That was perfect, like literally just absolutely perfect the way it hit. It hit right in the middle of them, so it pushed them all into different directions. Ramses gets pushed onto the high ground. There's no way that they can counteract that this time around.
All right, let's see it. Let's see it. So the jump in, Ori waits, the big group up, the fresh TP in from Solo, and then boom and boom.
Like actually so perfect.
Yep. This is why VG Gaming are still, like the score doesn't really reflect the run they've had during this competition. Like they're still a bloody good team. Pasha, Dream Coil, he'll snap it himself with his own 4-star, and the lasso, okay. They really want to bring down this Jakiro. He takes a lot to kill off, and Ramses makes his way forward. The Hand of God gives him a little bit of extra life. Pasha, he's still ticking out to the Flame Break. He may, oh, the last tick! He had 3 stacks of sticky napalm on him in the Flame Break. Thanks to the buff, however many patches ago, there's enough damage to get the kill.
Full Aghanim is finished on Roger. He's been spending a lot of the time farming in this game, since they aren't really actually able to group up and take advantage versus Vici. He just is prioritizing having that Axe.
Kind of surprising that he's managed to find that much when they're still trying to give more over to no one and the Broodmother. Like, where is all this space coming from on the map?
It's also because the Pasha's died 4 times now, so he's been giving all that space because of how much time he's been dead off the map.
Ori's gone full assassination build.
Is it Dagon?
It's the Dagon.
He can actually find pickoffs pretty easily on quite a lot of the heroes on VP.
Yep. And VG's getting so many answers to control. Like another Eul Scepter is on the way for the Batrider.
Yep.
So this Orchid pickup from the Broodmother is going to be very ineffective. A quick blink before the Ice Path can connect. Again, another very Telegraph style stun, just like the Nyx from before.
This time VP is under a hell of a lot of pressure. The last 2 games, they had vision almost everywhere across the map. This time, look at that. They've got both their wards just playing around the mid lane, just absolutely defensive.
Oh, that Terrorblade's getting so huge.
Yeah. BKB already finished up. Now Paparazzi can get involved inside the fights.
Quick blink. Ari's away. No one's not going to get anything from this just yet. And they smirk up, but they're underneath that Radiant Observer ward, so VP very well aware of VG's intentions. And they're doing a full wrap around. They're hoping for a target. This is why Broodmother and the Black Dragons are on the other side, so they break it. Up they jump. Blink Lasso, find the target on the Broodmother. He did get his BKB off, so they don't have the damage just yet. Paparazzi, he's got Sunder Revolver, but he needs a good target not to get silenced as they're waiting for it. His own BKB swaps life with Ramses, and Ramses takes the fall. Witch Doctor doesn't have any support either because he's gone down. No one's BKB protects him, but there was no follow-up damage. They wait inside the snowball as the orb from Ori. He'll jump in further forward. So much damage, such great coordination from Vici. Roger goes down. Pasha will join him. No! The send back from Chen will end up saving.
They've got no way to keep their targets in one position. As soon as the BKB gets popped by Paparazzi especially, they've got no way to just focus fire that Terrorblade down. Having that minimal catch is really punishing them right now. And Vici constantly with this aggression. They just jump in the back lines. Solo dies instantly in that fight as a Witch Doctor.
Yep. It's one of the few games when Solo is not like, well, he was the instigator on the bottom lane time and time again in the first 5 minutes, but after Ori started his rotations, then this game has just changed. And it's all going the way of VG Gaming.
It's looking quite scary now for VP. This Coddle is getting bigger and bigger, halfway to that Aghanim Scepter level 15.
20 seconds till Roshan. Then we're gonna have that time. Who will get the better engagement? Who will have the better fight? You've got a long time for Paparazzi before he's got the Metamorphosis back up again. But then again, could VP even slip in and take Roshan? Obviously the Broodmother is very powerful to do it, but up against the Batrider, up against already a superior team fight of VG?
It is going to be very scary. They don't have these clear-cut initiators on the side of VP either. Like in most of their situations, they do have somebody who can start the fight. Now, it's Vici having just much better heroes for that. With the Puck and the Batrider, VP's like, they just have to kind of walk in and make the fight happen through that, and they have to sheer sustain it through Vici's lineup.
And they got the better vision game too.
Yep.
Oh, shards. Tree, the shard block, VP, they can't even walk around it, they can door breath. Protection, that'll help him for a moment. He'll have to wait the maximum amount of time, goes back into it. He is kind of lost to the world of the living. 11 wants the grab. He doesn't have the lasso available anymore, but they're all getting out. They're mana leaking on the ancient columns. Just stick away from Roshan when a paralyzing cask is there. That control time was just so long in 11.
Defensive Force Theft, defensive Glimmers. Everything coming out there from Vici, pulling themselves away from that bad fight that could have turned against them. The BKBs now are on cooldown for VP though. A little bit of a peak for Vici to look for an engagement. They even have a DD inside of Paparazzi's bottle, well, Ori's bottle, but Paparazzi has it. BKB Manta as well. They could actually look for the Roche themselves with those BKBs on cooldown for VP.
Possible. Double damage Metamorphosis, yeah, why not?
I think I'll wait till their Tusk respawns at least.
Bring the Sigil into the fight.
They've got the gem, as you were mentioning, on 11, so they can clear out all the vision that VP does have, and you see him running around right now looking for him.
It is kind of crazy, too, the fact that 11 was able to survive through all of this. Because if he did go down, it wasn't just him dying, it was the fact that Gem of True Sight would have been lost. An Arcane Rune for the Terrorblade. All right, life's getting even easier right now for VG. And the jump, Batriders find its right target. Ice Bar, Dual Breath, Fenrir wants to help out. Blinding Light forces them all away. A quick defensive Euro Scepter and Puck goes in deep. The Paralyzing Cast not doing enough, but it's all about the Terrorblade. Stander on the cliff side, bounding towards Roger. He has enough damage for him. Ramses did pick up the Tuskar in the back, however, and the Dream Coil. Oh, no, it's too much. Paparazzi has so much damage with that DD rune. I don't even know why VP want to stick around and try and fight this one, but they don't have a choice. When they get sharded in like that, they want to go deeper. Pasha, Ramses, the Sunder. It just cripples him so hard. The lasso onto no one. There's no way to fight back. There's no real control. There's no real answer to these VG cores. And now they can go and do Roshan under no stress.
Yep. They've still got, yeah, DD does wear out, but they do have the damage to clear this one out with the remainder of the meta. Again, though, they tried to do the combo there again instantly. As soon as the coil goes down, Fenrir throws down the blinding light, and they almost connected it on 3 heroes again. It just seems like VP's unable to actually keep on a single target here from Vici because of all the defensive plays coming out. The Force Staff, the Snowball, the Glimmer.
He actually burned the Hand of God to try and keep the Black Dragon alive. That's the level of desperation you're kind of feeling. Pasha, Macro Player through Roshan, but the shards Damn, Lanham, just so good. The snowball up, they wanted to go towards the Witch Doctor. Solo just being flipped like a pancake. He'll take a fall, and VP, they're clutching at straws to try and stop this. And GG, well played indeed. VG Gaming, they turn it around in the best-of-5 grand final. They'll claim Game 3 and avoid the VP clean sweep.
Ori played like a beast this game. Absolutely ridiculous puck performance. Only one death, 4-1 and 17, 260 last hits by the 27-minute mark. I'm very surprised how well he actually did versus Ramsey's mid, and then their other lanes, they pulled off really well. I did like you mentioned, the rotation from 11, he went to the jungle, so they prioritized getting Fenrir those defensive items. He gets the Force Staff, gets the Glimmer Cape, so then they're not really at risk of getting picked off by this Broodmother who went that Orchid. Such good movement coming out from Vici this game.
Yeah, it really was, and I still feel like so much of that is down to Ori. Like, yeah, you could have looked at all the other lanes, but the fact that Ramsey's, like, we've seen him already in this competition destroy mid lanes. And it's like, well, what is the answer to this? That was the question. Like, and the only answer most people came up with was like 5th ban Broodmother every single time. And I was like, I think I have a different idea about this. Give me a magical burst damage hero. I go aggressive, and he really got Ramsey's. He shut down so many of these early spiderlings. There was no just run at you, spiderling, harass, going the no phase shift point, all rift, all orb. I loved it.
They
absolutely loved it.
The defensive build coming out from him, and then they didn't really allow VP's lineup to do what they wanted to do, which was get that first Aegis, take all the towers, group up, and just kind of mow them down. Vici just kept splitting them up, and they have such hard elusive heroes when they do get those defensive Force Staffs and Glimmers that VP can't actually lock a target down well.
Man, I cannot wait to see what happens. Is this going to be the spice for VG Gaming to take that fire into Game 4? I kind of hope so. I want to see a full series in this grand final.
Let's go 5.
Let's go 5.
Let's go 5 indeed. I'm with you, boys. I'm absolutely with you. Good game from Vici Gaming. They've come back. They've pulled 1 back. They've still got 2 more to go, of course, in this best of 5. Caught us out a little bit by the early GG. We were talking on the way back, Kevin. It was kind of inevitable, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you draft a Chen, and it's not always over, but if you're against a Terrorblade, and you have a Gyrocopter who's not been doing so hot all game, and your Brute didn't completely stomp his lane as per usual, then yeah, it's eventually going to end like that when they get an Aegis.
Do you think it's okay that they've kind of cut their losses early and just, let's not chase this game, let's not wear ourselves out, it's a long series, plenty of chances to get back into it?
100%. I think they lost it in the mid matchup. Puck did this, they put Puck mid, he went all orb, all silence, he built a super fast veil, and as soon as he gets that, he can kill an entire creep wave or an entire infinite stack of spiders, and when he's at that point, Brood is a regular hero.
And enabled by the Tusk to start too. I think that was pretty important as well. I do think it was VP also experimenting a little bit with the Jakiro. So I was really confused by it.
Yeah.
And
the off lane.
By the time I got back, I sat down and I was actually talking to Trempax, and we kind of talked it out. And it was an interesting idea. I think it was meant to replace the Beastmaster and the Sand King when it comes to a tanky offlaner that goes and he fights and he shoves out his wave, right? So then the Chen can take advantage of that. But the problem is that the Sand King and the Beastmaster and the Omni Knight, they all enable the Gyrocopter. And Jagiro, unfortunately, doesn't really do that for you. He's not really the best frontliner in the world, nor does he buff up the Gyrocopter and make him that fearless hero that the Omni Knight does with the repels. So, you know, I think that experiment was definitely a failure. Other than that,
Okay.
I think VP are just still going to be feeling like, okay, we tried. That's all right.
Sure.
Like, we didn't have to change our strategy this whole entire time. Now we're finally going to have to go another direction.
On the other hand, Alan, you don't want to give Vici too many opportunities to do well because they will take them.
Yeah, so it's rare for me to really disagree with Cap, but I think I'm going to go against you here. I think the 2 things that happened, number 1, as we talked about in the first 2 drafts, I think a lot of their preparation for VP was built around the idea that Vici's probably not going to pick this Terrorblade, and they got caught out with a 4th pick TB in a lineup where they had very little hard disable. I mean, you could see in several of these fights as the game went on, they just had no way to stop the Sunder, right? I mean, TB would just walk up to the Brood would hit with her lifesteal up, all of a sudden TB's low health, Brood's high, and there's no way that you're going to protect that Brood in that fight. And the other thing that happened, the 5th pick Brood, I thought about it as the draft was going on, and I'm saying that it's very, very difficult to dodge a Puck lane, right? Puck can play in any 3 games in most lineup, in any 3 lanes in most lineups. So it's very hard for this Brood to not be up against a Puck in lane. Vici, it's one of their few flex picks, so they have 2 cores that can play it. And if Puck ends up in a lane against Brood, Puck is one of the few heroes that can usually do that. Right, the build is a little unconventional, but what you're saying is not that unusual in that Puck Brood matchup. So I think that was a little bit of a 2-0 YOLO pick for VP. Let's call a spade in the spirit of the first couple of games. I think they kind of wanted to play their Brood Mother because it's a hero that Ramses really likes. I think they got caught by those 2 things, and that, again, when you have 2 teams playing at this level, 2 things happen and it makes you look really bad.
What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, it's the Brood getting shut down. It's as a hero in the meta, in this tournament at least, it's a hero that needs to go crazy and snowball hard and win his lane by a lot, and that didn't happen. And I think Old 11 played amazing, constantly getting great initiations, causing space. Solo did fine as well, but he started getting killed repeatedly, and the game was just really easy for Vici at that point. So.
Okay. Getting some more from you after the break, which is where we're heading next. Of course, don't go too far away because Game 4 will be just around the corner. Just a quick reminder for you, the MVP is still open right now. MVP by Mercedes-Benz. Who will win that trophy? We'll find out tonight as well. But you can still vote, so if anyone's persuaded you from the first 3 games, maybe it was 11 in that last game, you can go and cast your vote right now. Right, we are headed off to a break. When we come back, though, draft number 4 will be here. Can Vici Gaming do the impossible and come back from 2-0 down to claim the title? We'll find out shortly.
The other side, so they break it. Up they jump. Blink Lasso, find the target on the Brood Mother. He did get his BKB off, so they don't have the damage just yet. Paparazzi, he's got Sunder Revival, but he's a good target not to get silenced as they're waiting for it. His own BKB swaps life with Ramses, and Ramses takes the fall. Which Doctor doesn't have any support either because he's gone down. No one's BKB protects him, but there was no follow-up damage. They wait inside the snowball as the orb from Ori. He'll jump in further forward. So much damage, such great coordination from VG. Roger goes down. Pasha will join him. No.
I do. I want to get in there.
Wow. I'm not dead.
Are you dead? Yeah, I'm dead.
Never, dude.
Dude, look at that macro pyre, dude. Oh my god.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Life is all about following a few simple rules. Dress proper. Get a real job. Start a family. Be humble. Time to grow up.
Ultimately, this trip could bring my career to the next level.
I'm not very worried about losing. I'm worried about missed opportunities.
I just
scream and say yes twice. Yes! Yes! You try your best, you feel good about yourself.
So what's really going to separate them is decision making and strategizing.
Laura, you found my secret. Our world is in danger. You must stop them.
It will be an adventure.
Some men like dangerous women.
You shouldn't have come here, but I'm glad that you did.
You messed with the wrong family.
Tomb Raider.
You can't be too careful these days. The world has gone bloody mad.
I'll take 2.
Only in cinemas.
ESL 1 Katowice is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, Alienware, PaySafeCard, Logitech G, and Hacks.
Welcome back, everyone, to ESL 1 Katowice. It is time for game number 4. It's just around the corner between Vici and Virtus Pro. We have 2 questions to answer right now. Is Virtus Pro about to take their second ever ESL 1 and another major as well? Or can Vici Gaming hold on to take us all the way to game number 5? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to that in terms of what we'd like as a panel. So we'd all like a game 5, wouldn't we?
Yeah, not too many reverse sweeps in Dota.
No, we were trying to hunt through them a little bit. There's no majors where it's happened, where they were 2-0 down and then went to 3. I'm sure there's some land. I just can't rack my brain and find them. There's a deep pool of events over the last 8-9 years.
Well, I'm sure our friends on social media will be willing
Someone
to
will
help
tell
us out. Yeah, but numbers-wise, that breaks a 7-game win streak personally for Ramses on Brood. And as you pointed out, I think earlier in an intro, VP had not lost with the Broodmother since the Summit 4 in December 2015. They're actually 35-5 as a franchise when picking the Broodmother. So a little bit of a YOLO pick there, but I think they'll be back strong in game 4.
Yeah, I think most of the attention now turns to Vici, doesn't it? I mean, they've still got a lot of work to do to get back into this game, and I don't know what that game 3 does for them in terms of draft mentality. Does it help them? Does it hurt them? What does it do?
I still feel they're at a draft disadvantage going into this game 4. Other than that, not sure what they're going to change up here. Terrorblade is a tough hero to beat.
Yeah, and they shut. And I pick up on the point we made before that last game: is could they play Terrorblade? That was one of the questions Virtus Pro were posing to them by almost baiting it out. Really, the answer is categorically they can.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the hero is like one of the be-all end-all of carries of right now, and you had one of those lineups where VP had to play this like super high execution where they had to pressure all these towers with a Jig hero. They needed to be able to get this Broodmother who took over the map to be able to limit a lot of the farm from Vici Gaming. You don't have a strong laning phase, or you don't have a good enough laning phase, and that's going to fall apart.
Yeah, interesting. This is interesting to me because I really thought that VP would stick to their guns. They are worried about the tempo control of this Katowice, and as a result, they're going to give Vici Gaming what has been a signature hero for Lanham in the Elder Titan.
I think it was also that Katowice basically off-laned for long periods of that game, would just go there and blast the carry. So the carry just is constantly harassed. It's something we've seen with dual off lanes. This is a support doing it, just lowering his HP and making his life harder.
Well, game 4 and Gyro 4.
Which is not super surprising.
No, really.
I thought that VP would maybe change it up a bit because they're technically their Chen Gyro got beat, but Katowice was a big part of that.
Yeah. I mean, but it was the other side of that equation. It was the Jakiro potentially, rather than. I mean, it didn't do bad, did it? In the game,
it didn't do bad. Jakiro was okay as an offlane because he has really high base strength. Yeah. He has lots of magic damage harass. He can push towers, but he doesn't do as well in the mid game, like Cap pointed out on the previous panel.
And it doesn't enable the gyro either.
Yeah, and he's good at harassing TB. That's why they grabbed him.
Yeah,
viable harassing TB and taking towers.
I just want to see. I don't think VP. I don't think you pick up the Terrorblade here first phase, but you got to think at least a little about it because man, oh man, it's going to get banned out in the second phase by VP. That's what I'm waiting for. Is this a TB pick? And it is! All right. I love it.
All right, they moved it up the draft. They know they were going to get. They know that they were not going to get it in the second phase.
So I find the ET pick interesting because it does give lane pressure, much like Tusk, but it's less gank and more just like punch them until they die kind of stuff, which can work very well against Chen. But it's kind of curious to me. Do you guys have any ideas why they changed it up? Maybe to protect against a TB pick from VP?
No, why? Why the Elder Titan?
Why open Elder Titan, not Tusk?
Because I think AT is a better hero for you. I think it's more the lane stabilizer than anything else. I think they're going to try and match the aggression that Chen gives you in the off lane with that Elder Titan of their own. They're going to enable Old 11. And other than that, I think he's probably the much stronger team fighter.
Definitely. He's just a comfort pick for Lanham, too. I mean, Lanham's 8-2. It's their most picked hero in 2018 so far, and he was one of the ones that was experimenting with it before a lot of pros noticed it in this meta. And I think, yeah, the synergy with the TB is great. Just gives you that. The sleep can be a pause button in the middle of the team fight for the TB to get a Sunder off. Obviously, if Elder Titan can get on top of you and TB's meta, you're just going to go down incredibly hard.
Yeah, they pen his ET with so many different cores, too.
I suppose they also didn't ban him in this game. It's probably the main reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the big thing then, I think, okay, so Vici's going to ban the Tinker, which is step one because we know, based on yesterday, that no one's Tinker is incredible. But the adjustment I expect for VP coming out in the second phase of the draft is just to get a lot of disable to deal with that Terrorblade, both AoE and single target, just to make sure that he's not so free at being able to get off the Sunder in the middle of those fights.
Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, but
yes, sir.
Vici Gaming haven't played Viper in this tournament, right?
No, I do not believe so. I can look at that. No, Vici Gaming, as far as I'm aware, nope, have not played Viper in 2018.
No. They last played it 4 months ago in one game, which was at Dota Pit, and before that, July 2016.
Gee, Paul with the history, look at this.
I'm kind of bullish on the hero right now, but...
You're what?
I'm kind of bullish on the hero right now.
I am very
Vici
much
Gaming.
bullish, yes.
Because of the fact they're facing up against a gyrocopter. Most of the other space creators have been taken out. Maybe they do like Quab or something else, but...
But I actually really like the Tiny here by VP. Just, again, you want the combination of really AoE disable even better than single target disable in some ways against the Terrorblade, because you just create this zone in the fight where if you can make sure TB can't move freely around, he's no way he's going to get his Thunder off now.
Disruptor provides it a lot better than Tiny. Tiny's more of like a burst hero, but obviously comboed together, it's still very useful.
Yeah, I think it's. I actually think that the combination of the Avalanche and Toss is actually underrated as a disable as well.
Beastmaster off lane is still out there. Batrider is still out there. Batrider against Tiny is a little annoying, but it's still fine. It's like you stick an napalm and fire him instead.
Beastmaster.
I know it kind of sucks right now. It hasn't really been picked too much. But Virtus.pro like running the Darkseer with the Tiny.
Okay, so...
But it's been a while. It's been a couple of months.
Darkseer is a Pasha hero. It's also a very high variance hero for VP. That was one of the heroes that they ran him a lot when he first joined the team, and he was moving over to the offlane role. And he still is a little bit up and down on that Darkseer.
Yeah. In fact, they... What was that game? Did they play a Darkseer earlier this tournament? They did. They played one against Vici in the series.
I feel like it'd be way too all in. They'd be reliant on either Tiny carry with Gyro or Tiny off lane with Gyro. They would get out carried at some point. I feel. Unless they did really, really well in the laning stage.
Yeah, the last time they played it was a few days ago. It was against Vici, and it was paired with a Tiny and a Disruptor.
Yeah, I heard me some Underlord. I was gonna.
Yeah, I'd have liked that hero a lot.
You want some sustain, I think, for just a little bit more, because VP are so focused on being able to get that initial kill. That's why I liked Viper. DK is like kind of an equivalent in that regard, just that he is a hero that will not die.
I mean, Vici's counter push is way worse this game than the previous one. They still could try to do some cheesy-ish super push thing.
Well, it's part of why I like the Beastmaster. I think he gives you that extra aspect of lane control. And together with the Brief Fire, I think that gives you enough to take him last. And that also sets your lanes up nicely. Ori, Dragon Knight.
You think they might be able to take an Enigma?
Vici? Yes, but I think again you start then worrying about the cooldown reliance. I mean, Terrorblade and Dragon Knight are not heroes that want to have to wait for Black Hole to be up.
The only thing I like about it is that it gives you a disable versus the Tiny, but I would be
Tide would do that too.
I would be inclined to go for it.
What do you want?
I was actually thinking about Tide, but for VP.
Yeah, I actually think Tide fits both ways.
I feel less so on Vici Gaming because of the Disruptor.
Yeah. Okay. I just still think Beastmaster is really, really good.
And I think DK already fulfills that purpose of the stand in front hero. I think the faster play of Batrider is
going back for the bat.
Yeah, and it's sort of just a more popular, it's a single target disabler that Vici are a lot more comfortable with. The only thing I worry about now is the potential for VP to pick a laning matchup that potentially really punishes the Batrider.
I feel like they need way more damage on VP's side, like so much more.
Now, like because the Tiny is so flexible, I feel like he could like pick a Lifestealer or a Weaver or something that just crushes the bat in lane. Okay, Pugna is. I don't know about this, guys.
Pugna, so where does the Tiny go now?
It's Pugna versus the Terrorblade, Pugna versus the DK. These are all pretty good things.
Okay. Yeah, no. It's the two laning matchups that are favorable. Okay.
Okay. All right. We're
Okay.
gonna have to get your predictions very quickly, so we'll use 2 letters: VP or VG.
Who's first?
Yo, I went first 2 times in a row.
Alan.
All right. I'm gonna go Vici.
I was gonna do Vici.
I'll go VP.
All right. Okay. Split decision here on the panel, 2-1. Reminder for you, it is 2-1 right now to Virtus Pro. Let's find out who takes game number 4 with a quick reminder on the way to the stage of the Mercedes-Benz MVP.
Game 4, Virtus Pro going up against VG Gaming. Can we get to a Game 5? Is this draft going to be enough? Wonderful blend of initiation, push, tankability from VG, and of course, they got the Terrorblade in their lineup up against Virtus Pro. Early rotations, blasting through the Pugna, the Gyrocopter, one of the most picked up heroes in this tournament. And then, of course, Toss Me, Tiny for Pasha. How do you feel about it, Fogs? The panel were only semi-split because Cap just wanted to be different. How do you feel?
Cap just wanted to pick the opposite of Nahaz, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't want to go first.
Well, that's the best way to win, right?
I do believe so. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Alan. Just kidding. He's going to be so mad now. I think Vici's got a really strong draft again. I think VP, they do have a bit of a timing window. They're looking to close the game out before this Terrorblade gets massive. I think that's why they picked up this Pugna. It's either that or they just trying to have a really big advantage coming out into the mid-game versus this draft. Because they don't want to take it too late without that advantage.
Solo's timing, scattered out this aggressive maneuver from VG Gaming. 11. He's actually the man with the ward, so hilariously enough, for the heroes that got scouted out, none of them were carrying the ward. It was the Batrider who went a long way to the left to plant down a ward, which doesn't block, it's purely a rotational watch.
I like how Vici's playing as that unit. Just don't want to get caught out by some level 1 smoke rotation.
Interested to see how their offlane goes too. Like you're running an ET plus, you're running the DK in a minute. So it's ET as well as Batrider. How is Solo even meant to try and work against this lane? Doesn't seem like many heroes can actually try and zone out an ET because, well, he's an ET.
One of the approaches is making sure that you can constantly pull the lane back and to watch out so that they don't stack that hard camp. That's one of the best approaches versus Elder Titan is block that camp so you can't just abuse the Elder Titan spirit. That Astral Spirit can start adding up a bit too much. They're just trying to secure Ramsey's farm a lot in this game. I think that's what they're mostly trying to go for.
Yep.
So top. See what Chen does. Sends those creeps home.
Just split up the wave as much as you can. Make life difficult for Paparazzi. And Fenrir, the Witch Doctor. This time he gets to be defensive on the top lane to battle against Roger. Witch Doctor, a great hero against any kind of Chen army. How do you feel this mid lane actually plays out too? Like we had basically just like we thought it was going to be a straight matchup in the earlier games. Obviously it was a little bit different with Ori's puck. How does Ori get control over no one in this game?
It's a Dragon Knight is the thing. So you are able to just farm after a bit. Pugna wins by a little bit of a margin, but after a couple levels inside the Dragon Blood and you just keep bringing out a couple sustain, you're actually able to do pretty fine versus Pugna is what I've realized. It's unless like the Pugna gets the double null too early and you just start getting really harassed back by the pressure of the blast and the right clicks. But for the most part, yeah, Dragon Blood starts kicking in and you're okay.
And they're really trying to keep Ramsey's farm down. So far, it's been decently successful.
Ramsey's got to be careful here. He's got a lot of stacks on him. They've even leveled up the Flame Break.
And the Stomp is going to hold him back. Yep, there's the Flame Break, push him in closer. Ramsey, so much damage, even the dot effect would be enough. And Lanham, he wants to go more. He's hitting with plus 48 damage.
Don't think he expected the Flame Break build this time around.
I was kind of joking about it the other night, talking about Flame Break going against Broodmother. Like, he gets sticky napalm stacks that just throw out the Flame Break, but in this case,
it's better versus those heroes that you don't want to walk into, like those Terrorblades, like those Gyrocopters. If you walk into them, sometimes you can just die to the barrage and to the homing missile, but from a distance, you just use that Flame Break and you're perfectly fine.
Well, with it, bounties get to be picked up as bottles get shared. Even an illusion rune It's 11's bottle that Lanham is currently carrying for this. But the sustain on the bottom lane now becomes a lot better.
Yeah.
ET interrupts not only any kind of pull that Solo attempts, but he's already got that camp on the side lane stacked up.
Yep. And they're going to try to keep that one getting stacked so that the ET can have such a presence.
Go by Paparazzi. Paralyzing cast from Fenrir couldn't do enough. The Harpy bringing in the deeps, combining with Pasha's only 1-1 combination, but the Penitent Man did not pass.
He's used a lot of the chain lightnings already. He's used 4, so it's quite a lot of damage being punched out. 140 initial, so 4 of them. 560.
And now he brings a new creep. Yeah, let the Hellbear do the work.
And he's got the level 3. They can keep that. They can pressure a lot onto
That's
Paparazzi.
stop again on bottom. Yep, Lanham. Well, he's locked inside the kinetic field of Solar. Ramsey's had 5 stacks of sticky napalm on him, but he's also starting to build up more 1 charges.
Yeah.
Makes these ganks a little bit harder. This middle lane should go a little bit harder towards Ori now. He's got the 2 points up in Dragon Blood, but now he's got the Soul Ring available, so he just starts spilling damage into no one who's completely out of consumables.
Yeah, it's a pretty much dead even lane though. Both just gonna Soul Ring spam each other.
Yep. But no one doesn't have enough life. He's actually having to go all the way back to base, so Ori's actually forced him out for now.
Good old Dragon Knight.
Yeah. How do you have sustain in lane? Well, I skill E twice.
Soul Ring and Magic 1, 2. Can't forget.
Yeah, he's actually got so much regeneration.
Yep. And Lanham's just constantly be taking 11's bottle and just picking up those bounty runes, now grabbing an Invis.
Going again up on the top, Avalanche top, Penitence is out, but Fenrir's paralyzing cast makes life a little bit more difficult. There's Chen, the clap is there, catching both. Fenrir's heal, it's enough!
It's just enough!
Voodoo Restoration level 1.
Mid lane.
They'll be able to heal him up with the salve, and yep, mid lane, they get the stomp off. Pugner only just came back to this party. Got a creep wave right behind him. They won't punch in any harder. But Lanham just showing that he doesn't have to sit on bottom lane all the time. 11, quite strong where he is.
They don't want to leave the Bat Rider alone because he's at risk of dying.
But here comes the ET. Spirit is down, looking for the stomp. It's onto Ramses. The stomp will come, even though the glimpse pulls him away. Fenrir dies in the meantime to Pasha, but then the burn. Ramses is able to kill off 11. It's the Firefly that does the rest of the work as Lanham wants to keep the chase going onto Solo. No plus damage at the moment. Puts the Spirit out into the stomp. Holds him there for the second and actually puts the Spirit into the creeps. So he's going to have that extra bonus plus 111 extra damage for Lanham. But he won't chase now. The Gyrocopter is back. Avalanche once more.
Both safe lanes are getting pressured quite heavily. Paparazzi farming just a bit better than Ramses, but Ramses did pick up the kill. Fairly even early game. 1k lead at the moment for VP.
It's where they would like to be. They're Pugner. He's #1 in the CS at the moment. As far as net worth goes, it's Pugner, DK Tiny, then the Terrorblade, something that VG Gaming will have to change around. But having that early farm on the Bat Rider is definitely going to help enable it, especially if he can take this stack.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it too. It's, you know, you have the Elder Titan who's using the Astral Spirit and putting a lot of pressure in your lane, but then it's also that backup for 11 to get that farm. And
oh, no one. He's draining out the DK Dragon Form, quickly popped off. No one wants to keep fighting this one. I don't know if that's really going to work, however, but maybe it will. Spirit doesn't get the stomp off. No, no one. He's far enough away. Turns for Decrepify Blast, but DK's happy with this. He's still got a lot of 1 charges up his sleeve.
That's really cool how they're just pretty much strictly using the bottle on Lanham. Even though 11 has bought it, he's had it the entire time picking up all these bounties and running it mid.
Yep. Because he brings the regeneration into the lane, so he's more like this is now how you bottle run. Using the bounty runes to their full extent, flame break, there's your stomp, perfect. You do have a glimpse back, pulling 11 away, and well, there needs to be more damage. Paparazzi's gonna fall. And there is enough damage to actually reach the Gyrocopter. He's back behind the tower. Getting the heal up. I don't know if Solo really wants to play with this. The homing missile will connect on the Bat Rider, but yeah, they're not doing anything.
Pasha's getting so much action in this top lane with the combination of the toss and avalanche combo, but it's really the penitence that's making the difference to be able to burst down Paparazzi before they can actually distance themselves. That very squishy Terrorblade early.
The dive is going not onto the tower fully. Lanham knows he can't tank that damage, but put the Spirit instead on top of Ramses. Going for the stomp, can't create enough space. 11. He falls, Ramses, he might be in trouble, needs more damage from Lanham, but no one gives the life to the gyrocopter. Medak!
Very clutch TP. I do think they would have
Toss
done.
me into the Centaur Stomp. The Penitence is down once again. You're almost like making a makeshift Blink Dagger onto the Centaur Conquerors. Roger, he's burning inside the Firefly. The send back is there, so Tiny can be sent away to safety. And they just want to try and clean up this Chen army. But damn, Paparazzi needs some space.
He does. He's level 5, while the gyrocopter is already level 6 on the way to phase drums. We could see Ramses get very active once he regens up.
This game feels a lot closer than at least the first two.
Yeah.
Even the third one, it was just swing in the opposite direction, but
Pasha's going to be a pretty big problem for Vici. Majority of their heroes are burstable with this Tiny, and he's on that way to that Blink Dagger very early on. They actually just decided to swap the lanes up completely because Paparazzi's not getting good farm.
Yeah. So Ori comes down to the bottom lane as well with Paparazzi. Maybe on the back of the Metamorphosis, which is up in 2 seconds time, they can get a little bit more push behind him. They're only halfway through the duration of the DK form.
This is going to give space to Noah to start pressuring down that mid tower too, so it's a little bit of that trade-off coming out.
That's why Lanham's there.
And VP, they're smoked up though. They're looking to punish Lanham.
TP's coming. Gyrocopter. Call down's available. Here it comes. Only one point up in the flag cannon, but if they can get enough of a slow, Solo can get the glimpse. He's looking for a target. That's why VG stand their ground. Sunder is available.
Oh, look at this. VP's actually not going for mid. They're letting no one do that one, and they're moving all the way bottom with the Chen and Tiny. This could catch Vici off guard.
Especially considering VG are committing to bring down the tier 1 tower. There's no Dragon form. Metamorphosis has only got 1/3 of his duration left. And okay, new Centaurs available. There's your glimpse. Pulling Ori in deep to the missile. Is buying time for them to get them to commit. VP, they're coming in with the army from the Chen. The avalanche is perfect. The Centaurs even better so. Fenrir to the trees, but it's not safe. Their bite is worse than the bark.
Wow, that was such an absurdly smart movement there. They recognize that they don't need it. They don't actually need to help no one or get this kill on the other Titan. He's not a priority. If they can get the kills on those 3 heroes bottom, that long rotation, they smoked top and ran all the way across the map to get there.
Such great play.
That is such smart decision making.
The fact they're able to get the glimpse too, it commits them into the fight. 11.
And another one.
Here's another glimpse into the 3 Centaur lineup here from Roger. He took that extra Centaur from the stack that ET provided, the stack which is now into the hands of Ramses. He's farming up the entire thing, so even that catch-up money isn't available for VG. Not even catch-up money, it's the blink money for the Batrider, which is now in the hands of the Gyrocopter. And the bonus money for the ET.
Now they've got phase drum on Gyro too, and like we said, VP, they want to play very active with their lineup. They want to try to claim all these tier 1s early on, get early kills, get that big advantage so they don't have to worry about this Terrorblade. And they're not making Paparazzi have a fun time at all. 3,400 net worth.
So we watch this again.
You see him grab the 3rd Centaur as well.
So the glimpse comes in, VG commit, caught inside the kinetic field, and there's just no way to get out of this.
More than enough damage comes in with that over-level Tiny plus Penitence.
That point when you wonder, like, if you're going to defend your tier 1 tower, you say yourself, it's like a tribute to Wings. How many minutes are we in, and how many heroes are on top of this damn tower? Again, they go Paparazzi.
He doesn't have a home. He wants to play around bottom because now they are aware that this Pasha Tiny has a Blink Dagger already at 11 minutes in the game. He has to find somewhere to farm. He has to pretty much resort to jungle and wait for 11 to get Blink and make plays for him because he is in a heavy amount of trouble getting... He's in burst region for the Tiny.
Roger's coming to the top now. He's bringing his army with him. Last time they did this, they tossed a Centaur. There are now 4 Centaurs for Roger.
They're waiting for it.
Yep, there she goes.
That's one.
Yep. ET Stomp, however, will create a little bit of extra space, potentially, as Pasha has already blinked in. The Centaurs are just charging forward. Off to the side, the ET Splitter is nice. Lanham was being drained down, but Fenrir tries to turn this fight around a little bit more as Solo. He does go down underneath the tower. Ramses and Pasha, they're just so strong. The DK can't survive. Lanham has to put them to sleep. Chen is 1 hit away. Fenrir will claim it. It's worth it for the turnaround. Fenrir actually gets 424 gold for this kill.
they kind of have to take these fights, even if they don't want to versus this lineup of VP, because they know how fast they're playing, but they have to make space for Paparazzi. You see he just goes bottom again, even though his team's fighting top. He recognizes he's way too far behind in order to take these engagements versus VP's lineup at the moment.
Yeah, get him the money for the Dragon Lance, actually get him some level of money so he can survive in the engagements.
He just needs to be able to survive the burst. He's sitting at 780 HP when he's on Agi charge, and they see him. Pasha is aware of this right now.
Good dire observer. Leave an illusion behind, potentially Pasha. Okay, he doesn't commit. Instead, okay, well, a quick little glimpse. Solo trying to keep Ori off his back, but there's more support. The flame break keeps Solo in nice and close.
Having that defensive high ground vision there.
Yep.
This should pretty much be Paparazzi's home, I think, for the next good while they try to make plays on the other heroes. They've got the blink dagger on the Bat Rider, and they're getting closer and closer to Shadowblade on Ori.
They're actually looking for Pasha? Yeah, the dire are scanning, they're checking the trees. 11 was hoping he'd be able to close the distance, but Pasha now shows on the bottom lane. A very, very difficult kill to latch, especially when you don't have lasso. But when the Shadowblade's up for the Dragon Knight, this may be a little bit more possible.
Yeah, they can still make plays around the map, but it's kind of the same rule. They want to be playing mostly S4 while Paparazzi gets online.
It's smoke gank time. The Observer Ward's sitting further up in the lane. We'll watch where the Bat Rider is going to retreat. But already 11 is retreating out.
I don't think VP should slow down by any means with this advantage. With this Blink Dagger on
Oh,
Tiny.
11. He can't walk into him. There's the smoke pop. Does he get the Firefly off? His Blink is currently on cooldown. He holds his Firefly and gets glimpsed back down again. Decrepify, Drain, and the toss. So much amplification.
They can turn this into a tower push too.
Yep.
Clean smoke.
Not certain how VG hold this. ET can slow it down. That is one of the big advantages of just that, having that spirit on the front lines. Never puts him in any kind of peril. And thanks to that dire Observer Ward, they see Solo coming in. Fenrir commits. Solo has to burn his Storm. Roger wants to follow up as well, but they've already done the send back on Solo. Probably fearing that he was going to be heavily initiated on. Pasha. From behind. And you wonder, VG. They kind of want to kill off that nether wall before they fight. Not to mention it's decent cash. There's the sentry ward, so Observer for VG is lost. They've lost that bonus vision, but they're ready to fight onto the tower. Blink Lasso is available. At the same time, Pasha ready to jump in through the rear. He found the ET in the back lines, copping off Fenrir too. The wall is perfect. Ori and 11, they can't go anywhere. They must stand their ground, which they cannot do. Too much strength. Virtus Pro. Woo. It's a double kill for Ramses. He took the tower in the middle, all of it too. This is creating space for Terrorblade, but at what cost?
Pasha and Roger there were so patient, just waiting to see both supports. They know that the only way that they can actually get turned on in that fight is if the other Titan gets a perfect counter initiation.
And that did not happen at all.
It did not.
They read the position right, don't even need Observer Wards to know it.
I think they're reading a little bit of how Vici wants to play the game, is taking those fights as 4, so they're even heavily emphasizing putting the wards around that bottom, that triangle that we like to call. And they're keeping that pace up, which they should keep doing. 8k gold lead now for them after all that, and it's almost a Shadowblade finished on top of Tiny. Ramses has queued up the BKB.
Vici's coming to fight. They're smoked up. Their initiation is still paralyzing Cask and Lasso, so these are the critical abilities to watch at the beginning of the fights.
They've got to play around their one ward that they have on the bottom side of the map. So they're looking to try to get a pick off here.
Well, they're coming in. They'll have to go into the Firefly. No one's underneath the tier 1 tower. They're all really clustered VP, and this is the reason why. They are coming for a fight.
They don't really have any ulti cooldowns. That's the big thing for their team. It's really only static storm. In comparison, Vici really relies on having everything, the Elder Dragon form as well as that lasso, to take those fights.
Well, 11 as well as Ori are going to reveal themselves on bottom. Firefly, they also reveals being burnt, so VP, wisely, they're not going to find a kill. They'll find a Roshan. Large amount of creeps going inside the pit, but there's no real vision, but look who's coming over. The ET Spirit is on its way, but the timing of it is going to walk into Roshan. The Stomp timing will be really nice, because it's right on the edge of Roshan's death. But the Aegis Immortal is already in the hands of Ramses.
This is what Chen always gives you. The opportunity just goes straight into the Roche pit, and with the medallion build that people have been doing and max penitence, you kill Roche so quickly that it's very difficult to contest when you're ahead.
Lanham, I just want to see him use some of that damage. He's got plus 360 damage because of the Spirit into Roshan.
Yeah, he went for the 2-4-1 build. He wanted to just stay in their faces. I've seen him do this several times.
So we see just how hard VP want to push it. You got Pasha up on the top, still working on the Shadow Blade.
They're in a little bit more of that relaxed pace now, though, because they've gotten this Aegis. They have a clear advantage. They've taken all the tier 1s. They have great vision down on the map to watch Vici's movements, so they can take it a little easy and get those BKBs, get those next big items finished up before they look to get those pickoffs again.
But this is still buying time. Paparazzi has his Dragonlance plus the Yasha. He's becoming a little bit more formidable for the fights. So a good Sunder can turn this around.
He needs BKB to get in those fights, though, versus VP.
Yep.
Now with the Shadow Blade, they can start looking for a pickoff.
He needs to just stop being avoid being chain stun or burst damage down.
Yeah.
All of which would happen if Solo can catch him inside of the wall.
They just caught a glimpse of Pasha for a moment with 11 on the high ground. Ramses.
11. 1 second till blink. Firefly up. There's your blink lasso. They found Solo. The ET Spirit. It moves forward just to create a bit of a buffer.
They brought everybody thinking that VP was going to respond with a fight there. They actually pop Elder Dragon form too.
Yeah, instead, they hold the hand of the god. Chen is farming up top, moving towards that Aghanim Scepter. With lasso down, now the initiation of VG is not that strong. Because it's the Blink Dragon Tail, right? But you're also burning Dragon form. Well, under the sentry. Pasha, they can see him. That's gonna be so juicy to try and go for.
They don't have a good way to catch him now. They kind of need VP to play out of position. VP, I do believe they can actually just go for a play here now with this Aegis. They can wait for the BKB though on Ramsey since it's very close. But now that they know that Lasso is on cooldown and Dragon Form is on cooldown, they can take advantage.
Where are you off to, Pasha? To the mid lane where no one is.
Right now, VP does not actually have any wards on the map, so that's probably going to be their next move, is just get some vision around and then they can play around it a bit better. Yeah, they're totally blind.
You got Nobs and Sentry on Solar, but
yep.
Only one of each.
He wanted to finish up his urn this time on Solo. He usually is more of that strict warder, but getting an early Spirit Vessel, getting an early urn is very good versus those Blink Daggers on the side of Vici.
Giving the life to Ramsey so we can just tank that tier 2 tower.
Yeah, they've got all their items now online. The BKB's coming on the courier. The next one is just no one's BKB, and that's going to limit Vici's way to really kill him, because their only physical damage at this point is really Paparazzi, and he does not want to fight until BKB.
11's going to have a nicer item for the next fight. He's now got his full Force Staff.
Okay.
So they got the ability to drag back a lot deeper. This makes life difficult for VP when they want to push high ground. A lot of defense. Obviously, normally first Aegis is only about taking out of towers. But VG need to make something work for this, and that's exactly what they're doing. They come back as 4. Smoke up, find an opportunity. This won't be the first time they've tried this. The Observer Ward, Ramsey's going to get rid of this right now.
They want to play around the vision.
That aggressive vision they've lost.
Yeah. All of VP is coming now toward the area too.
All right, so everyone's blind. No one sees anything with the Observer Wards. So 11 needs to take to the skies and get some information. They have the Gyrocopter in the lane, so blink, lasso, and then pull back. ET Spirit in the neighborhood too, but the homing missile is going towards 11. He gets Force-staffed up, but now glimpsed back and drained. This is not the fight that VG needed to have happen. Force-staff gets revealed, Smoke gets burnt, and VG are the one burying their dead.
They're just still trying to get Paparazzi online. They were trying to get a quick pick off there with that one ward that they did have in that aggressive position, but unable to find it. VP too quick to make the moves. And now they can threaten this bottom tier too. Aegis is still on them for about 30 seconds.
It's more than enough time for a tier 2 tower to drop. Paparazzi knows they're not going to force up too high. Actually, then again, does he? He doesn't have a TP scroll showing himself on that top lane. If VP feel aggressive enough, they can probably keep this push going without Paparazzi being involved.
They can force him back once he goes and buys that TP. But yeah, he doesn't have it still.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. The line is being drawn right now by Solo. We contain them here. We hold the line here.
They know he's not farming on the right side of the map by any means, so they have to assume that he's inside of that jungle area. Aegis does get reclaimed. He gets a ward in the back lines, but he does get grabbed. Solo. Pulled him to the base.
Yep, that's a nice pick off.
Slain.
Poor little Solo. He is 5 of the 9 kills of VG Gaming.
He wants to get those wards so they can see the back lines. That's a really important thing for VP's lineup, so they don't get caught out off guard by the Batrider. But I do believe that they did see that ward.
Yeah, they're dewarding it now.
Yeah.
If they get the other Observer ward, then VP go back into exactly the same position as before. They got 1 sentry on Fenrir, so I'm interested to see where he plants it. And he put it on top of the shrine. So, missing the Observer ward. That means VP can at least keep some good information for the bot lane.
They've got the BKB now coming out on Paparazzi. They could look for an engagement with this.
Maybe. Tiny is just sitting there in Viz. 11, Avalanche will catch him. The toss pulling him into Ramses, but the 4-star pushing him away. 11, donged, ankle limbs. Ori jumps in for the Dragon Tail stun. That cooldown's gonna be good, but the wall, it won't do enough when Paparazzi has his BKB up and running. It's still hurting Ori, but Paparazzi has to stand. Fenrir is nearby. Can he actually help out? Paralyzing Cast is off cooldown. Never even found a chance to use a Death Ward. Now he will. Onto the Ramses, onto the Gyrocopter, the Glimpse. This pulling Paparazzi back in. He can sunder, swapping the life with no one, but no one takes it straight back. There is no thievery.
And that was the BKB reveal by Paparazzi. They used Dragon Form as well. They pretty much expended all their ultis. This is time for VP to go high ground. They've got the Chen Aghanims too.
Oh, this is a great moment for Virtus Pro. They're looking for some kind of opening if they can grab that ET. Obviously, the primary thing is taking out the mid lane of Rax. They can rotate down to the bottom as well.
They definitely get this, Rax.
Another 27 seconds before VG are back at full strength. Batrider has the Blink Lasso. To do so, however, he'll have to jump into no one. And now he got him. Pulls him to the tier 4 towers. The Glimpse will break the lasso. Lanham trying to keep them all slept up, but the
BKB by no one.
Holy crap. So much damage. BKB for no one means he can survive everything. Decrepify and blast. This may be it. VG, they're falling like flies as Virtus Pro rotate down to the tier 3 tower on the bot. How can VG Gaming mount a defense?
I think VP's done it. I don't think VG can come back from this one either. It's 18k deficit. They're losing a second set already. It's 24 minutes in.
Do they try and just keep pushing though? Like you've still got the tier 2 tower up on top lane, so VP can't just grab Megas here. And they are doing this safe.
They can just take kills.
They already broke the first curse. Fenrir, yep, you'll be one of those kills. Paralyzing Cast can bounce around. And they're going for the tier 4 towers. Virtus Pro want to end this. The Spirit and the Stomp can slow things down. Metamorphs is still on cooldown for 43 seconds, and Virtus Pro, safety first. They're going to back out. They don't want to get caught here.
They've got a lot of gold still to get on the map. They can now take the tier 2, the last tier 2, take the shrines, get those big items that they just got because they just claimed themselves a ridiculous gold advantage throughout all that. All the way up now to 22k gold, 20k experience.
They also know Roshan can spawn up shortly, but he's going to be 2.5 minutes before the spawn time will arrive.
Now they can just keep forcing in the side lanes with these 2 Ancient Black Dragons on the Chen. And Vici, they're not in the position to take these head-on fights by any means. Paparazzi, even though he's got that BKB, he's still very susceptible to getting bursted down and getting controlled.
Yeah, he's going to get controlled even more. There's 4 staffs on the way. The Butterfly rapidly approaching for the Gyrocopter.
4 of the highest levels in the game on the side of VP.
And now VG will also be fighting blind. A Gem of True Sight picked up by the Chen. They have got so much to work with. And VG, they need a miracle right now. Unfortunately, he's not on their team.
VP's in an incredibly comfortable position now. 12-2 on Ramses' Gyrocopter. About to have Butterfly finished up too.
Yep.
How can Vici deal with this? They need the perfect fights, and VP is not giving them that by any means.
They kind of need like the Stomp and the Split, and then the Breathe Fire to actually start, like the AoE to start doing some work. Like Witch Doctor, I haven't seen him get a really good Maledict off in an engagement, let alone even use his Death Ward.
He can't walk into the fights versus all this damage, and with just how tanky everybody is. When you have a 25k advantage on these type of heroes, you can just constantly keep running at these supports and not really be at any problem. And like you said, they're waiting for the Roche. 1 more minute, VP's playing it patient.
Yeah. There's way too much on the line to risk and jump in. Ramses versus Paparazzi. The lane creeps can look really equal, but no buildings, kills and assists just doesn't exist. Paparazzi, like it's kind of the trade-off, right? You've got the Gyrocopter versus the Terrorblade. Terrorblade, it was just about buying space for him.
Yeah, I mean, Gyrocopter's 12-2. Paparazzi and Terrorblade is 0 and 5.
They're hunting.
How much pressure did VP put on it? That Terrorblade.
Roshan's taking so long. VP have got to be getting like cabin fever right now.
They've got all their wards down to protect it, to watch that area. They could look to pick a fight if Vici makes their way out there.
It's still going to be so hard for Vici. Like, bottom lane's pushing in, mid lane's pushing in. It's going to be scattered out so early. And they're taking care of the shrine. This is a big safety thing. The 3 Black Dragons will do this anyway. It's like they can hold the top lane. So Roshan, 2, 1, pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop.
There you go.
That timer is inaccurate.
There's that 1 second delay usually between it.
Yeah. Do we go on 3 or do we go on 3? Too easy to kill off Roshan. So Aegis and Cheese for Virtus Pro. The test of VG awaits them.
They've got all the tools to end this game now versus VG. The fights are going to be so impossible for the side of VG Gaming. They need some immaculate lasso coming out from 11, completely displacing VP out of the team fight.
I'm wondering who they even jump, because they can't go Pugna. They gave him the Aegis, the Immortal.
There's not a lot of targets.
If they can somehow grab the Jara and pull him under the tier 4 towers and keep him stunned before that BKB can take effect.
Can they kill him though? He's got 2,000 HP with 22 armor and evasion at this point.
I don't know. Like, we're clutching at straws, right? Like, hey, Chen, you can go for him, but he's got 1,600 HP.
Yeah.
He's got the Solar Crest. He's got 19 armor. Disruptor, I think, is the only kill that's the easier one. And that's why you've seen every single time 11 jump on him. The kinetic field, they're looking for the Batrider. They're looking for 11's aggressive posture. But when that Nether Ward is down, blinking in, getting that initiation, it's so hard, he's in too deep. They need to force off him now. Oh, the glimpse, they're pulling him all the way back inside the base. It's a good Maldic on departure. The Paralyzing Cask is doing work. Paparazzi wants the last bit of damage. Tiny being sent back home again. Will he get out? No, he won't. He'll end up popping. At least that's something for VG Gaming. Ramses stands his ground. He's got the cheese available. Wait, he didn't get it off. He'll go down too. The ET splitter, it's about to kick hard. But where are the cores for VG? They don't exist. Only the supports. Fenrir is trying to fight Paparazzi. He'll buy back into the game now. Roger has a triple kill with his Black Dragons. Finally, that is being ended. Vital Anim, the ET Spirit, to the front lines. They must defend hard. Where is that stomp? No one just sits above it. Solo sits below it. They haven't got the racks just yet. They just keep Nether Blast. Remember, no one has the Aegis of the Immortal. He's happy almost if he dies. The reflection, it won't be enough. It brings him low. Actually, yeah, it will be. The Aegis pops. But the tier 4 tower is under attack. Paparazzi must deal with this. Batrider is back to the world of living. Lasso is up. And maybe now it's time for VP just to retreat a little bit. You see that aggressive TP, 11. He needs that blink lasso, but he knows he can't firefly forward. Not until that Nether Ward is gone. And this allows VP to back out.
They perfectly CC'd the gyrocopter before able to get cheese off after the BKB fell off of him. But VP now, everybody's respawning. It's go time again. The lanes are all pushed in. They can just run straight toward top and go for this end.
They did at least prove. VG proved they can kill people.
They need absolutely everything to go perfectly for them. And now there's no meta for 60 seconds.
Yep. That's going to be the hardest thing for them. But there's no Aegis the Immortal. The cheese is on Ramses. Sunder can buy time, Lasso can do work. And this DK, thanks to that BKB, the Dragon Form's coming off cooldown as well. Like, it felt like Ori was actually a real hero in this fight. Fenrir for the first time as well, Paralyzing Cask and Maledict. That was what was doing the work against the Tiny.
It was really important that Lanem lived throughout the entire fight. Having that Elder Titan boosts all your damage, and that's exactly what they need to be able to take any fight versus VP.
They're coming again.
27k gold disadvantage.
They got double catapult wave. Blink Lasso is up, the Firefly wears off. No one again putting down that Nether Ward. Sitting on the front lines, Ori's into Dragon Form, Blink's done forward. They're looking towards the partner. The call down. Oh, and only going to clip on Ori. He's still got enough life. 15-1 judge. They turn around. The cheese burned by the gyrocopter. Fortification from VG. Keeping that Rax intact for the moment. The Black Drag is becoming a hell of a buffer.
The tier 4s are dying to the creeps now, though.
Problematic Solo up in the trees. He jumped in forward. Now they're going to see if they can get something more. He's defensively stormed. The ET splitter is good. Pasha controlled on the front lines, but he's sent back by the Chen, and Solo can just force stuff down the hill and away. You are right about the tier 4 towns. There's only one of them left at 190 HP. VP continue just to knock on the door.
They know the BKB from the Dragon Knight was expended, and also the Dragon Farm is almost down. They've almost finished off that last Rax from Mega.
Yeah, Ori, he's making the most out of it. Jump in, they need to kill off the Pugna, the Death Ward. Fenrir helping to do so, even over to Roger. The Ghost Head will keep him alive for now. Buyback from the Pugna, wants to come back quickly. The Glimpse, it's gonna pull Ori back all the way in. Mass buybacks are coming in. VG Gaming is all down now to the Rax. It's all down to the Dire Ancient. The Megas are already up, and maybe they can find something. Paralyzing cast bouncing around. They're focusing on the gyro with Lasso as well. The wall is keeping VG contained, not to mention the life from no one. The full-time medic, Roger, he needs to do more work, but VG, they're surrounding him. They'll bring him down. They're still being surrounded. The Megas are arriving. The creeps are too strong. VG Gaming, they just don't have enough life. Paparazzi goes down to Ramses, and this looks like the game. VG, it is GG out. Virtus Pro, the first team to get wins twice. And ESL 1 claim first position of the Dota 2 major here in Katowice.
They just ripped Vici apart in that game. This looked like almost a repeat of the earlier ones too, when they had the Omnium with the gyrocopter as well. They play so well around this gyro, and the amount of pressure that they put on Paparazzi was just irrecoverable for Vici. They tried to get him back in the game. They got their BKBs. They had a slight sign that they had some life, but VP just looking way too hot in this series versus Vici.
It seems this part of the world is just suits VP really well.
Yeah.
In Hamburg, they're able to take the title. Here, in wonderful Poland, they're able to also claim first place. Two different opponents, Vici Gaming. They look so good throughout the tournament as well, so we want to give massive props. You're having them down as well for your MVP.
I did. I had a couple of the Vici players listed as my MVP, but VP.
And just a beautiful team to watch play. Aggression being rewarded, creativity in draft also being rewarded. Virtus Pro.
They've done it with Roger.
They did it with Roger. The fresh roster change as well. What happened to these kind of settling conditions? Virtus Pro, they come together as 5. They have the perfect drafts, they have the perfect combination, and they are your ESL 1 Katowice champions.
That was some final. I got so excited backstage, I started to lose my voice. But to see a Dota 2 major here in Poland won by this team was just a great moment for everyone. It's great to see them. Some fireworks going off on stage. Congratulations, guys. Look at you holding the trophy there. Come here, let's have a quick chat. I don't want to say this, but the 2 Dota 2 majors I've been to, it's been won by Virtus Pro. Talk me through how strong you were there, how you played, why you played the way you did. I chose the wrong man. I know I did. Congratulations, Roger. You talk me through the way you played there.
It was hard way for us. We lost to Vici at group stage, and they did well. We were not prepared at group stage, but now we found some new tactics, you know.
Well, you guys were plowing your own furrow here. You were doing what you wanted to do. It seemed like you had a game plan which was based on your strengths rather than trying to nullify any opponent. Listen, congratulations. Talk me through what it means to have that trophy here in Poland.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. We feel your support. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Listen, it's great to watch. And once again, let's hear it for your ESL 1 Katowice 2018 champions. It is Virtus Pro. Guys, stay there. Because we know that Dota 2 is a team game, but there is always one individual who shines in any tournament, because now it's the rather important moment to find out who is our Mercedes-Benz MVP. And before we do that, let's have a little watch of this. Right then, so before we go any further, if you were here for the opening yesterday, if you're watching the opening on Facebook at any point, you will have known that that trophy got stolen by some creeps, and myself and another person had to go and get it back. That person is about to come on stage now. Please welcome the Crystal Maiden. So as you can see, the Crystal Maiden is bringing out the Mercedes-Benz MVP trophy. Now, I have no idea who's won this because it's just been totted up backstage. So, right then, I know the team where the MVP is from, and that team is Virtus.pro. The player who is the Mercedes-Benz MVP of ESL 1 Katowice 2018, ladies and gentlemen, it's Roger! So Roger is the MVP, the Mercedes-Benz MVP. He gets that rather fabulous trophy and a £50,000, 50,000 euros, sorry, Mercedes-Benz of his choice. He absolutely deserves it. The team deserve to be the major champions here in Katowice. The first one ever in Poland. Time. Let's go bananas for your major champions, and that is Virtus.pro!
There we go then. ESL 1 Katowice 2018 comes to a victorious end for Virtus.pro and for Roger. They win the championship. They become the first ever double ESL 1 champions. They win the major, the first one here at the Spodek Arena. They go top of the DPC points and they clean up on the MVP. I think they might just have claimed everything this afternoon. It has been a fantastic tournament. We're going to recap the final and the final match and talk about the tournament overall with our three panel members once more. Nahaz, Purge, and Capitalist. Alan, we'll start with you. Just brilliant performance from Virtus.pro from start to finish.
Unbelievable. The first ever double ESL 1 champion ends up lifting 2 major trophies in the first time that we've had ESL majors in the DPC, and Roger in his first event with the team is your MVP. Unbelievable play all tournament long. We asked the question, would Roger deliver with that roster change for VP? And the answer is yes.
Why can't other teams do this, Kevin? Everyone else has had a change. Why aren't they playing in the final, winning the trophy?
I don't know. VP's just really good, and they kind of cookie-cuttered out a different player that was at very high skill level, almost the same, maybe better. And they just played super well the whole tournament. Great drafting. Roger definitely deserved that.
Honestly, it's very fitting that Virtus.pro, I think, are the champions here and the first team to be able to claim 2 of these ESL 1s because they have been such steady performers throughout the whole entire year and even last year as well. Virtus.pro, I think, are just such an individually talented team, and then on top of that, team coordination is absolutely world-class. So, Virtus.pro, Roger, such a great addition, man. Yeah. I think he definitely deserved that MVP performance. I personally was actually, I voted for no one, but towards the end there, especially in that last game, the way he controlled those dragons, I was like, maybe I should change my vote to Roger because he had insane control there.
Yeah, no, I mean, he had a great final, but that last game very much stood out. They've really thrown themselves into the mix of this secret liquid battle that's been going on seemingly all season. Virtus.pro are now firmly in that battle, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. I think that we were looking at it and we said, hey, just not so long ago, it was Secret, Liquid, and then Virtus Pro had that change, so we're like, okay, they're probably still top tier, but and then we were kind of talking about Newbie. All of a sudden, boom, Newbie solidifies themselves, absolutely top 4. Then, boom, we had Virtus Pro reasserting themselves as, hey, forget about that roster change, boys. We're still on top.
We should give a word to Vici Gaming as well. They've had an absolutely superb tournament, and they've just fallen short again. I can't believe I'm saying this. For the 4th time this season, they've reached a grand final and failed to win against Newbie, Secret, Liquid, Virtus Pro. That's nothing to be ashamed of, is it?
Exactly. I mean, they've lost to every team in the top 4. And again, I think this is what happens when you get into those finals against world-class teams, that the little flaws in your hero pool and some of your strategies that may have worked against those other teams, they get exposed. But this is you still have plenty of time for TI. This is a great opportunity for growth. And let's just think for a minute. Let's just